Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, unable to rest, even when your body is tired? Your mind replays the same questions over and over again. Why did this happen to me? Why now? Why like this? Maybe you lost someone you loved deeply, and their absence still aches in your heart. Maybe your job ended unexpectedly, and the security you thought you had slipped away in a single moment. Or maybe it's not one big event, but the quiet accumulation of everyday pressures. Bills to pay, expectations to meet, relationships to manage, and the overwhelming pace of modern life. In those sleepless hours, it can feel as if life is nothing more than random storms, unpredictable, unfair, without meaning. But tonight, I want to share with you a different perspective, an ancient wisdom passed down for thousands of years that can change how we see every moment of our lives. Buddhist teachings tell us that nothing is random. Every joy, every sorrow, every success, and every loss, all of them arise because of conditions, causes, and connections. In other words, everything happens for a reason. This doesn't mean that everything happens because of some distant plan written by a higher hand. And it doesn't mean we are being punished for our mistakes or rewarded for our goodness. Instead, it means that life unfolds according to natural laws, like seeds sprouting, rivers flowing, or the sun setting each evening. Imagine this: a farmer plants a seed in the soil. With sunlight, rain, and time, that seed begins to grow. If the farmer plants a mango seed, mangoes will grow. Not apples, not oranges, but mangoes. And yet, the exact size, sweetness, and shape of those mangoes will depend on the soil, the weather, the care, and countless other conditions. Our lives are like that. Each action we take, each thought we nurture, each word we speak is a seed. Some seeds blossom quickly. Some take years. Some may even take lifetimes. But all of them matter. All of them shape the landscape of our lives. So tonight, as you rest here with me, let us take a journey together, not across continents or oceans, but into the heart of this timeless wisdom. We will explore why everything, even your pain, even your struggles, even your restlessness, carries meaning. And we will see how understanding this truth can bring us peace, clarity, and the gentle release of sleep. You don't need to force yourself to remember every word. This is not a lecture to memorize. This is a story to be felt, a river of wisdom you can float upon. Let my words be like a soft lamp in the night, guiding you towards stillness. If sleep comes, welcome it. If wakefulness lingers, let the words carry you like a lullaby. In the chapters ahead, we will walk through the great teachings of the Buddha. Impermanence. Why nothing lasts forever, and why that can be liberating. Karma and cause and effect. How our actions shape the ripples of our future. No self. Why we are more than the stories we tell about me and mine. Interdependence. Why we are never alone, and how everything is connected. The meaning of suffering, how even pain can become a teacher. Mindfulness and compassion, how to live each moment with clarity and kindness. Along the way, I'll share simple reflections, stories, and gentle practices to help your heart rest. So take a deep breath with me now. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. You are safe here. You are not alone. And as you listen, you may begin to feel that even the questions and struggles that brought you here tonight are part of a larger story. Because truly, everything happens for a reason. And with that, let us begin with the first teaching, the truth of impermanence. Perhaps you remember a moment from your own life when things didn't go as planned. You thought you knew the path ahead. The relationship that felt secure, the job that seemed steady, the dream you held close to your heart. And then, without warning, life shifted. The relationship ended, the job disappeared, the dream slipped away. At first it felt like chaos, like a cruel twist of fate. You may have asked yourself in the silence of the night, why me? Why now? What did I do to deserve this? These questions weigh heavily, especially when there are no easy answers. But here, in the stillness of this evening, you are invited to hold those memories in a different way, not as punishments, not as random accidents, but as part of the vast tapestry of causes and conditions. The Buddha taught that every thread in this tapestry has meaning. When we begin to see that, something inside us softens. The gentle invitation tonight is not about solving every problem. It is not about figuring out the perfect answer to life's mysteries. It is about resting. Resting in the arms of wisdom that has carried countless generations before us. Resting in the knowledge that you are not alone in your struggles. Resting in the possibility that even your pain can be transformed. So, as you listen, let the words wash over you. You don't have to hold on to every phrase. You don't need to stay awake to capture each idea. Just allow the voice of wisdom to accompany you, like the soft glow of moonlight on a quiet night. A modern ocean of noise. We live in a world that rarely allows us to be still. Every day is filled with notifications, schedules, deadlines, and expectations. It feels as though the world is constantly shouting for our attention, pulling us in 1,000 directions at once. And in that noise, our hearts grow weary. Have you noticed how even moments of rest are often invaded? You sit down to relax, and your phone vibrates. You lie in bed, and your mind races through unfinished tasks. Peace feels distant, unreachable. But here is the truth. Beneath the noise, peace is already within you. It has never left. Like a calm lake beneath the wind, stillness is waiting beneath the surface of your mind. And tonight, with gentle guidance, we will return to it together. A story for the heart. Once, a young woman approached a teacher with tears in her eyes. She had lost her home, her savings, and nearly all her possessions in a sudden storm. Broken and hopeless, she asked, "How can I believe life has meaning when everything I built was swept away?" The teacher picked up a fallen branch lying nearby. "Look," he said softly. "This branch once held blossoms in the spring. Then it held leaves in the summer. And now it has fallen, carried by the wind. Is this meaningless, or is it simply the way of things?" The young woman stared at the branch, and though her pain did not vanish, she felt something shift. She realized that her loss was not punishment, it was change. And within change there is always the seed of renewal. A gentle practice as you lie here now listening. Try something simple with me. Take one slow deep breath. Notice the coolness as the air enters your nose and the warmth as it leaves. Feel your chest rise and fall like the gentle tide of the ocean. Now, bring to mind one worry that is weighing on you tonight. Instead of pushing it away, imagine holding it like a small pebble in your hand. Look at it gently and whisper in your heart, "This too belongs to the flow of life. This too has a reason." You don't need to know the reason right now. You don't need to solve it this evening. Just trust that, like every pebble creating ripples, this worry will also find its place in the greater pattern of your life, planting the seed of curiosity. In the hours ahead, we will explore many teachings: impermanence, karma, mindfulness, compassion, each like a lantern to light the path. These are not distant philosophies, but living truths you can feel in your own heart. As you listen, allow yourself to wonder, what if my pain is not meaningless? What if every loss, every joy, every meeting and parting is part of a larger story? What if even the hardest chapters of my life are preparing me for something I cannot yet see? Curiosity itself can be healing. It opens the door to possibility, and through that door, peace begins to enter. So, rest easy now. Let the weight of the day slip from your shoulders. The past does not need to be carried tonight. The future does not need to be solved. There is only this moment, and in this moment, you are safe. In the next part of our journey, we will step into the first great teaching of the Buddha, the truth of impermanence. We will see why change, though often painful, is also the key to our freedom. Impermanence. Close your eyes for a moment and think about this simple truth. Nothing in life ever stays the same. The Buddha called this anicca, impermanence. It is the natural law that everything changes. Sometimes, when we hear that, our hearts resist. We don't want the good things to end. We don't want the people we love to leave. And yet, impermanence is the reason why flowers bloom, why rivers flow, and why our own lives are able to grow and transform. Seasons and change. Think about the turning of the seasons. Winter feels endless when you are cold and tired of the grey sky, but slowly, almost without notice, the snow begins to melt. The days grow longer and spring arrives. The same is true in summer. Long bright days that feel like they will never end, until suddenly the leaves begin to change and autumn whispers its way in. The Buddha pointed to this cycle to remind us everything is always moving, always in transition. Now think of your own life. There was a time when you were a child, full of innocence and curiosity. There was a time when you were a teenager, maybe restless, maybe hopeful, maybe afraid. And now, here you are, older, carrying experiences that younger you could not have imagined. Which version of you is the real you? The answer is all of them and none of them. Because you are always changing, and that change is life itself. A river story. The Buddha once compared life to a river. Stand on the bank of a river, and you may think you are looking at the same water. But if you step into it, you will see the water you touch in one moment is gone the next. Fresh water flows continuously. In the same way, our lives are never static. Our bodies change moment to moment, cells dying and being renewed. Our minds change, thoughts rising and dissolving, emotions shifting like clouds across the sky. No moment is ever the same as the last, and yet the river continues to flow. This is the miracle of impermanence. Constant change, yet continuity. When change feels painful. Of course, impermanence is not always easy to accept. Sometimes it brings loss that feels unbearable. Think of someone you once loved deeply, perhaps a partner, a friend, a parent, or even a pet. At some point, life took them away. Through distance, through time, or through death. And in that moment of loss, it may have felt as though the world itself had ended. But look at you now. The ache may still be there, but it has softened. The unbearable became bearable, little by little, because time carried you forward. Impermanence carried you forward. Without impermanence, grief would never fade. Without impermanence, a broken heart would remain shattered forever. But because things change, healing is possible. When change feels beautiful, impermanence is also what makes beauty possible. Imagine if the cherry blossoms bloomed forever. Would they still feel precious? It is precisely because they fall so quickly that we stop to notice them, to breathe in their fragrance, to treasure their fleeting beauty. The same is true for every precious moment in life. A child's laughter, a tender hug, the sparkle in a friend's eye. They are impermanent, and therefore infinitely valuable. Impermanence in daily life. Let's bring this wisdom closer to home. Think about something in your daily life that frustrates you. Maybe long lines at the store, heavy traffic, or a stressful day at work. It feels like it will never end in the moment. But soon enough, the line moves, the traffic clears, the workday finishes, and you are home again. Think about something joyful, a celebration, a vacation, or even a delicious meal. It feels like it will last forever, but it too passes. Life is full of beginnings and endings. Each breath you take is proof. Inhale, exhale, a cycle of impermanence happening within your very body. A story from the monastery. There is a story told of a monk who once carried a glass cup everywhere he went. When asked why, he said, "I already know this cup is broken." The people around him were confused. "But the cup is not broken. It is beautiful and whole." The monk smiled gently. "Yes, today it is whole, but one day it will fall, or it will crack, or I will die and leave it behind. Knowing it is already broken, I can enjoy it fully now. Every sip of water is precious. This is the heart of impermanence. When we accept that everything is changing, we are free to love it more deeply, without clinging. A simple practice for you tonight before you sleep. I invite you to practice with impermanence in a very simple way. Close your eyes and think of one thing in your life that is difficult right now. A problem, a worry, a burden. Whisper to yourself, "This too will pass." Feel the truth of it. Just as night gives way to morning, so too will this hardship eventually shift. Now, think of one thing you are grateful for. Perhaps someone you love, the roof over your head, the comfort of lying down in bed. Whisper to yourself, "This too is precious because it will not last forever." Impermanence is not meant to make us fearful. It is meant to awaken us, to remind us to cherish the good while it is here, and to trust that the painful will not last. The gentle lesson. When we embrace impermanence, we discover freedom. Freedom from clinging too tightly to what we cannot keep. Freedom from despair when life feels heavy. And freedom to live more fully in the present moment, where beauty always resides. And once we see that everything changes, moment to moment, the next question naturally arises. If life is always shifting, what guides this flow of change? Why do certain actions lead to joy while others lead to sorrow? This is the teaching of karma, the law of cause and effect, and it is where our journey will take us next. Karma and cause effect. Misunderstandings and gentle truths as you lie back and breathe slowly. Let's clear the fog around karma. Many people hear the word and think it means fate, a fixed sentence written in the sky. But karma is not a prison. Karma is a garden, and gardens can be tended. Karma is not fate. It's freedom with responsibility. If karma were fate, your choices would not matter. Yet the Buddha taught that intention matters deeply. Every moment you are planting seeds with your thoughts, words, and actions. Fate says, "You cannot change what happens." Karma whispers, "You can shape what happens next." Picture two neighbors. One speaks harshly when stressed. The other pauses, breathes, and chooses kinder words. The world around them slowly becomes a mirror. One house echoes with tension, the other with warmth. Neither result is random, and neither is a divine punishment. These are gardens grown from daily, ordinary seeds. Timing confuses us. Some fruits ripen fast, some ripen slow. Sometimes a kind act brings an immediate smile. Sometimes you don't see the result for years. Often the soil isn't ready yet. Think of a winter field. Beneath the frost, life is still preparing. Your good seeds are never lost. They're simply waiting for the right conditions. The same is true for hurtful actions. An unkind word may show its consequence later. More distance, less trust. Smaller chances to love and be loved. The delay doesn't mean karma has disappeared. It means the ripples are traveling. Karma isn't only personal. Conditions and collective seeds matter in Buddhism. Nothing exists alone. We live inside systems, families, workplaces, communities, a country, with their own habits and histories. This is why we must be careful. Karma should never be used to blame victims. Harms can emerge from unjust structures, from collective seeds planted long before we were born. So what can we do? We plant wiser seeds together. We make workplaces kinder, families safer, communities more just. Karma is neither an excuse for suffering nor a reason to judge. It is a call to compassionate action, personally and collectively. Intention matters, and so does impact. Someone may say, "I didn't mean to hurt you." Intention matters in karma because it shapes the seed, but impact matters because it's the fruit people actually taste. In practice, this means cultivating good intentions and repairing harm when we cause it. When we mend, we plant a new seed that can transform the old ripple. Small seeds are not small. Think of a daily commute. A driver lets you merge into traffic. Your nervous system softens. Minutes later, you hold the elevator for a stranger. She arrives on time to a hard meeting and speaks more gently than she would have. That single act of courtesy, one small seed, has already traveled farther than you can see. We will never fully measure the distance of a kind ripple. We don't need to. We just keep planting. Stories for the heart. The two arrows. Pain is the first arrow, unavoidable in life. The second arrow is how we respond. Karma is often born in the second arrow. When pain comes, we can either shoot ourselves again with anger and blame, or we can breathe, soften, and plant a wiser seed. The restaurant. Tip. A server is having a terrible day. You leave a note. "Thank you for your care tonight." Weeks later, on a worse day, she rereads it and finds strength. Your seed didn't vanish when you walked out the door. It germinated in the soil of her future. Gentle practice. Pause and plant. When emotion surges, try this. Pause for 3 breaths. 2. Name the seed you're about to plant. Irritation, kindness, fear, patience. Choose a small, wholesome act. Soften your voice, ask a curious question, or simply say, "Let's revisit this after a short break." Each time you do this, you rewire the habit loops that shape tomorrow's weather. Forgiveness as karmic wisdom. Forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. It changes the seeds you carry forward. Holding a grudge is like gripping a thorn. You bleed first. Letting go doesn't say, "What you did was fine." It says, "I won't keep planting pain in my own heart." Sometimes, for safety, we forgive from a distance. Boundaries and forgiveness can coexist. Both are wise seeds. The kindness economy, we live in a web where every small offering circulates. In offices, one clear email prevents hours of confusion. In families, one apology prevents years of silence. On the internet, one careful post prevents a wildfire of harm. Karma is not mystical bookkeeping. It's the everyday economy of cause and effect. Now that we've cleaned the lenses, fate versus freedom, timing, personal versus collective, intention versus impact, let's bring karma even closer to your pillow. How to live this gently, day by day in modern life. Soft inhale, slow exhale. When you're ready, we'll step into practices and applications you can use tomorrow morning. Karma becomes real when it meets Tuesday morning. So let's place these teachings into the life you actually live. Emails and school runs, meetings and dishes, social media and bills. Practice 1, morning vow, 30 seconds. Before your phone, before the news, sit up in bed and whisper, "Today I plant seeds of clarity in my words. Today I plant seeds of patience in frustration. Today I plant seeds of care in small places no one sees." This is not perfectionism. It's orientation, a compass set before the day's weather arrives. Practice 2, the STOP reset for heated moments. Stop. Take 3 breaths. Observe. What seed wants to take over? Anger, fear, pride. What body signal do I feel? Plant. Choose one small wholesome act. Lower volume, ask one kind question, delay the decision. This is karma in motion, interrupting old loops, growing new pathways. Practice 3, the 2-sentence email. Modern workplaces grow much suffering from confusion. Before sending, plant clarity. What is the ask? 2, what is the next step? Clear communication is compassion disguised as formatting. Practice 4, the ripple repair. When you realize you planted a thorn, an unfair comment, a careless post, repair the ripple. A short apology soon prevents a long apology later. Repair is not humiliation, it's good gardening. Practice 5, the garden notes, evening review. At night, list 3 seeds you planted well and 1 seed you want to plant better tomorrow. Keep it light. No self-punishment. You're learning the weather of your mind. Over weeks, you'll notice patterns gently change. Practice 6, social media karma diet. Before sharing something charged, ask, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind or at least skillful? If not, wait. Waiting is also a seed. In the digital world, restraint often prevents wildfires. Practice 7, conflict as compost. Painful conversations can feed future trust when handled with care. Try this script. Here's what I observed. Here's how I felt. Here's what I need next time. Here's one thing I can do differently. Accountability without accusation. Compost without smoke. Practice 8, collective karma in action. Join small efforts that reduce harm where you live. Food drives, tutoring, neighborhood safety, environmental cleanups. These are not symbolic. They reshape conditions. Collective seeds produce collective shade. Practice 9, tenderness for yourself. Some nights, you'll plant a thorn by mistake. Everyone does. Bring a hand to your chest and say, I am learning. Shame hardens the soil. Tenderness loosens it. The garden responds to the gentleness of the gardener. Scenes from an American day. Traffic. Someone cuts you off. Old habit, chase, honk, stew all day. New seed, 3 breaths, a quiet, may you be safe, and release. Your nervous system thanks you. Your afternoon opens. Work email. A curt message arrives at 4:55 p.m. Old seed. Reply with heat. New seed. Schedule a calm response for morning with a clarifying question. Sleep replaces spirals. Family dinner. A teen rolls their eyes. Old seed lecture. New seed. Looks like today was rough. Want to talk after you eat? Connection grows where control would have withered it. Billing error. Customer service keeps you on hold. Old seed explosion. New seed. Assertive clarity without cruelty. Boundaries are also compassion for both sides. The paradox that heals karma reveals the paradox that sets us free. You are powerful, and you are not alone. Your choices matter. They shape weather close to home, and yet conditions around you, history, systems, other people's choices also matter. Understanding both keeps you humble and hopeful. You do what you can, where you are, with the seeds in your hand. A compassionate note on suffering. When we or others face illness, loss, or injustice, karma is not a verdict to recite. It is a lens to do less harm and more good. We comfort, we protect, we change what can be changed. Compassion first, explanations later, or not at all. Sometimes the most karmically wise act is simply to sit beside someone and breathe with them. A lullaby of seeds. If you cannot sleep, don't struggle. Let the breath plant tiny seeds. In, out, in, out. With each exhale, imagine a soft field growing. Kindness, clarity, patience, waving lightly in the night air. You are tending a future you cannot yet see, but you will one day walk there. Bringing it together, karma is your everyday authorship. Not total control, but honest influence. Not magical thinking, but practical tenderness for the world you are helping to write. One sentence, one gesture, one breath at a time, and when you really begin to watch your seeds, a deeper question appears. Who is planting them? Who is this I that gets angry, forgives, learns, loves? Is it a fixed person, a permanent self? Or is it, like everything else, changing, flowing, interwoven with life? Rest with that question. It will carry us gently into the next teaching. No self, anatta. A wisdom that loosens the tightest knots in the heart and opens an even wider sky. No self, anatta. Who am I really? The question of me late at night when the house is quiet. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I really? Not just your name, not your job title, not even the roles you play. Parent, partner, friend. But deeper, who is this I that carries all these stories? The Buddha invited us to look closely at this question. What we call a self feels solid and permanent. Yet when we examine carefully, we find that this self is not a fixed thing at all. It is a flowing process, a river of body, feelings, thoughts, perceptions, and consciousness, constantly changing, moment to moment. The mirror illusion. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. You see a familiar face staring back at you. It feels permanent. But think, the face you see today is not the same as the one from 10 years ago. Wrinkles may have deepened, hair may have grayed, eyes may shine with different experiences. The cells of your body have renewed themselves countless times. Even your memories have shifted, fading and rewriting themselves with each recall. The self you cling to is like a reflection in water, always present, always changing. A story, the cart and its parts once. A monk asked a group of students to imagine a wooden cart. Is the cart the wheels, the axles, the planks of wood, the rope that ties them together? The students said no. Each part alone was not the cart. Then, the monk asked, where is the cart? The students realized the cart exists only as the collection of its parts, arranged in a certain way. Take it apart, and the cart vanishes. The monk said softly, in the same way, what you call a self is just body, feelings, thoughts, perceptions, and awareness combined. Separate them, and the solid me disappears. Why we suffer from the illusion of self? Why does this matter? Because much of our suffering comes from clinging to a fixed idea of who we are. We say, I am this kind of person. I cannot change. Or, this pain defines me. I am broken. Or, I am only worthy if others see me in a certain way. But if the self is not fixed, then none of these labels are final. You are not frozen in one version of your story. Just as impermanence frees us from despair, no self frees us from the prison of identity. You are more fluid, more spacious, more mysterious than you imagine. Everyday examples. Anger. You feel, I am angry. But is anger really you? Or is it a passing storm, arising because of certain conditions? Stress, unmet needs, fatigue. When the conditions shift, the anger fades. If it were your essence, it would never leave. Failure. You say, I am a failure. But notice, failure is not a person. It is an event. When you treat it as your identity, you suffer. When you treat it as a passing result, you can learn and move forward. Aging. You look at old photos and say, that was me. but that person no longer exists. They live only in memory. The you listening now is fresh, new, woven from today's conditions. These examples show the truth. What we call me is more like a verb than a noun. Something happening, not something fixed. A modern story: a woman once lost her job after 20 years at the same company. She felt crushed, repeating, "Without this job, I'm nobody." A teacher asked her, "When you were 5 years old, were you your job? When you were 15, were you your job? Why do you believe you are only your job now?" Slowly, she realized that the self she was clinging to was only one role in one chapter of life. Freed from that label, she discovered new talents, new relationships, new ways of being. This is the gift of no self, the freedom to reinvent, again and again. Gentle practice. Observing the flow tonight. As you lie in bed, bring gentle awareness to your body. Notice the rise and fall of your breath. Notice sensations, warmth, tingling, heaviness. Then notice your thoughts, drifting, appearing, dissolving. Notice feelings, perhaps calm, perhaps restlessness. Ask softly, if all of this is changing, then who am I? Do not force an answer. Let the question be a lantern, illuminating the truth that self is not a fixed object, but a flowing river. The lesson: when we let go of clinging to a solid self, two things happen. We suffer less because we don't freeze ourselves into one identity. We open to compassion because we see others are also processes, not fixed enemies or allies. Imagine how different conflicts would be if we remembered. This angry person is not anger itself. They are a changing being, just like me. And as we continue, let us go deeper into how no self can reshape our relationships, our choices, and our freedom. Because when we realize the self is not fixed, we are free to plant new seeds, to grow in new directions, to live more lightly. In the next part, we will bring no self into daily life, exploring how this wisdom can soften our suffering and open our hearts. The mask. We wear every day. We put on different masks. At work, one mask: professional, capable, in control. At home, another: parent, partner, caretaker. With friends, perhaps another still: light-hearted, humorous, supportive. We believe these masks are me. But if we set them all aside, who remains? The Buddha would say, no single solid me exists behind those masks. Instead, we are the constant dance of roles, conditions, and experiences. Like an actor moving from one stage to another, we step into costumes, play our part, and then move on. The play changes, but the stage of awareness remains. The story of the broken mirror. There is a story of a man who cherished a large mirror in his home. One day it fell and shattered. He was heartbroken. "My mirror is gone," he cried. A wise friend picked up one shard and said, "Look, even this small piece reflects your face." The whole mirror was never a single thing. It was always countless reflections, countless moments. In the same way, our self is not one unbreakable object. It is countless reflections of family, culture, memories, biology, choices. When one reflection disappears, others remain. This realization can comfort us when we feel broken. Even in pieces, life still reflects beauty. Letting go of the heavy backpack. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with every identity you cling to. I must be successful. I must be admired. I must never make mistakes. Each belief is like a rock inside that bag. No wonder your shoulders ache. But when you understand no self, you begin to take out the rocks, one by one. You set down the burden of having to be someone fixed. You realize you can be fluid, alive, learning, and suddenly, walking through life feels lighter. A practice in reflection. Try this tomorrow. When you feel strong emotion, instead of saying "I am angry" or "I am anxious," say "anger is here" or "anxiety is here." Notice how the shift in language softens the grip. The emotion is no longer your identity. It is simply a guest passing through the house of your awareness. By practicing this, you learn to host your emotions with kindness instead of becoming imprisoned by them. Compassion. Born from no self, when we understand that we ourselves are not fixed, we also begin to see others in this light. The person who hurt you is not forever a bad person. They too are a flowing process, sometimes caught by anger, sometimes capable of love. This doesn't mean we excuse harm, but it does mean we can hold space for growth, for change, for the possibility that no one is frozen in their worst moment. Compassion blooms here, in the recognition that self is not permanent, and therefore everyone can evolve. So tonight, as you rest, let go of clinging to who you think you must be. Release the old stories, the masks, the heavy backpack. Breathe into the spacious truth. You are not a rigid self, but a living, changing river of being. And as this river flows, it connects with all other rivers, with parents, friends, strangers, ancestors. No self is not emptiness but openness. It is the doorway into interconnection, into the teaching of interdependence, which we will gently enter in the next part of our journey. Living without a fixed self. When we hear no self, the mind sometimes resists. We think, if there is no solid me, then who is living this life? Who makes choices? Who feels joy and sorrow? The Buddha's answer is subtle but liberating. There is experience, there is awareness, there is flow, but there is no unchanging owner behind it all. Life is happening, but not to a fixed entity. This teaching isn't meant to confuse, it's meant to heal. It loosens the grip of ego, the pressure to be someone permanent, and the fear of losing an identity that was never truly solid. The roles we play. Think of your day. In the morning, you may be a caregiver, helping a child prepare for school. At work, you are an employee, a leader, or a colleague. With friends, you are a companion. At the grocery store, you are simply the customer. Which of these is the real you? All of them, and none of them. Each role arises in context, shaped by conditions. When the situation changes, the role changes too. Clinging to one role as the whole of who we are creates suffering, but seeing ourselves as fluid frees us. A story. The monk and the actor. A monk once asked an actor, "On stage you play kings, beggars, lovers and fools. Which one are you?" The actor laughed. "None of them. They are roles I step into for a time, then leave behind." The monk smiled. Life is like that. We step into roles, parent, child, worker, friend, but none of them is the permanent self. Understanding this is wisdom. How no self heals our wounds. When you believe in a fixed self, pain sticks like glue. A breakup feels like, I am unlovable. A job loss feels like, I am worthless. A mistake feels like, I am a failure. But when you see no self, you realize these are passing conditions, not permanent identities. You lost a relationship, but you are not forever unlovable. You lost a job, but you are not worthless. You made a mistake, but you are not a failure. Each label dissolves when seen as impermanent. No self is not emptiness. It is freedom from the weight of false labels. Everyday practice. Language shift. Here's a simple way to apply this teaching. Shift the language you use. Instead of, I am angry, try, anger is present. Instead of, I am anxious, try, anxiety is here right now. Do you feel the difference? The first statement fuses identity with the feeling. The second recognizes the feeling as a passing guest. You are the host, not the storm. This tiny change in words can ease the heart and reduce suffering. Story. The guest house Rumi, the Sufi poet, described life as a guest house. Emotions are visitors. joy, sadness, anger, gratitude. Each knocks on the door, stays for a time, and leaves. In Buddhism, no self carries a similar message. You are not your guests. You are the spacious house in which guests come and go. This perspective helps us welcome emotions without fear. Even difficult guests, grief, loneliness, fear, will not stay forever. They arise, they pass, and the house remains. No self also softens our relationships. When we cling to the idea, this person will always be like this, we trap them in a fixed identity. But people change, just as we do. The teenager who seems rebellious may become compassionate with time. The colleague who frustrates us may grow into patience. Even the one who hurt us may one day regret and transform. By seeing others as fluid processes, we open space for forgiveness, growth, and compassion. Parenting with no self for parents, no self can be a balm. Your child is not always this way. They are growing, shifting, learning. When they struggle, it doesn't mean they are permanently flawed. It means they are in a season of becoming. Likewise, you as a parent are not fixed in your mistakes. Each day is a chance to learn new ways of love, practice, breathing without self. Try this practice as you drift to sleep. Inhale and think. This breath is not mine. Exhale and think. This body is not me. At first it may feel strange, but soon it feels light. You realize that breathing happens by itself, without effort from a fixed I. The body lives, the breath flows, life unfolds. This practice can bring deep relaxation, as if you are resting in the arms of something greater than yourself. Releasing the ego's weight in modern life. Ego often whispers, I must prove myself, I must win, I must always be right. But no self reminds us. The need to prove arises from clinging to an identity. When you let go, peace enters. Imagine an argument. Your ego shouts, I must win. But if there is no fixed self to defend, what is there to win? Suddenly, space opens for listening, for understanding, for harmony. A story. The broken roper monk once carried water daily with 2 buckets tied to a rope. One day the rope broke and he wept. How will I live without this rope? Another monk said gently, you are not the rope, you are the one who adapts. You can find another way. The story teaches, we are not the things we cling to. Jobs, possessions, even identities, they may break. But life continues, and so do we. Compassion toward ourselves. Seeing no self doesn't erase individuality. It softens harshness. You realize, if you are not fixed, then mistakes don't define you. You can learn. If you are not fixed, then suffering doesn't lock you forever. You can heal. This compassion toward yourself is essential. Without it, no self can feel cold. With it, no self becomes warm, spacious, liberating. So what happens when we let go of the idea of a solid self? We begin to see more clearly how deeply connected we are. If I is not separate and fixed, then life is not about defending a boundary between me and the world. It is about flowing with the web of connections that sustain us. This insight leads us naturally to the next teaching. Interdependence. The truth that everything exists in relationship, and nothing stands alone. Together, we will step into that teaching, like stepping into a vast, luminous net where each being shines and reflects in all directions. Interdependence, the web of life. The Buddha taught, when this is, that is. When this ceases, that ceases. This is the law of interdependence. Everything exists in relation to everything else. Nothing stands alone. Think of a single sheet of paper. At first glance, it seems simple, just paper. But if you look deeply, you can see the whole universe in that sheet. The sunshine, without which the tree could not grow. The rain, without which the tree would wither. The soil, the lumberjack, the truck that carried the wood. The teacher who taught the logger to read. The parents who raised the teacher. Without all of these, the sheet of paper in your hand could not exist. Everyday interdependence. This truth is not abstract. It's alive in every moment. The coffee you drink in the morning carries the work of countless farmers across oceans. The clothes you wear are stitched by hands you may never see. The air you breathe is the gift of trees, forests, oceans, and tiny plants you cannot name. Even in the loneliness of a modern city, you are never alone. You are woven into a living web, the illusion of independence. In the West, people often prize independence. I did this myself. I need no one. But when we look deeply, we see that independence is an illusion. The meal you cook alone still depends on farmers, soil, sun, and rain. The job you worked hard for still depends on teachers, mentors, co-workers, even strangers who kept the roads paved. This is not to lessen your effort, but to expand gratitude. You are not a solitary hero. You are a shining link in a vast chain. A story. The blind men and the elephant. Long ago, several blind men touched different parts of an elephant. One felt the trunk and said, "It is like a snake." Another felt the leg and said, "It is like a tree." Another touched the ear and said, "It is like a fan." They argued, each clinging to their piece. The Buddha reminded them, each view was partial, dependent on where they touched. Only together could they sense the whole elephant. In the same way, our view of life is always partial. Interdependence teaches humility. I see only one part, but reality is vast and interconnected. Interdependence and suffering. Consider anger. When someone shouts at you, it feels personal. But if you look deeply, you may see their anger is not born in isolation. Perhaps it comes from exhaustion, from childhood wounds, from pressures at work, from pain you cannot see. Their words still hurt, but they are not simply an angry person. They are a collection of causes and conditions, just as you are. When you see this, compassion arises naturally. Anger softens into understanding. Practice. Looking deeply tonight, try this reflection. Think of something ordinary. A glass of water beside your bed. Look deeply into it. Can you see the cloud that once became rain? The river that carried it? The people who cleaned and delivered it? Even the glass itself. Sand turned to crystal through fire. Whisper, you are not separate. You are the whole universe in a single sip. This practice brings both wonder and humility. A modern story. A young man once told his teacher, "I want to be completely independent." The teacher handed him a single apple and said, "Eat this." When he finished, the teacher asked, "Where is the farmer who grew it? Where is the rain that fell? Where is the sunlight that nourished the tree? Do you see? Even in one bite, you are connected to countless beings." The young man bowed his head. Independence had seemed strong, but interdependence felt truer and more beautiful. Compassion in action. When we recognize interdependence, kindness stops being optional. Because harming you means harming myself. Because lifting you up means lifting us all. This is why the Buddha taught compassion not as a moral rule, but as natural wisdom. When we see clearly that our lives are interwoven, compassion becomes the only response that makes sense. In the next part, we will take this wisdom deeper, exploring how interdependence can heal division, reshape modern life, and remind us that even in isolation, we are never truly alone. Top of form, bottom of form, the invisible threads. Imagine sitting in your room, lights dim, listening to these words. It feels like you are alone. Yet in truth, invisible threads surround you. The blanket covering you carries the work of farmers, weavers, truck drivers, storekeepers. The lamp by your bed was built by hands in factories, designed by engineers, powered by an electrical grid sustained by countless workers. Even the silence of night is interwoven. The quiet means neighbors respect rest. City workers keep streets safe. Countless unseen efforts protect your ability to relax. You are never truly alone. You are embraced by a web of care too vast to measure. Breaking the illusion of self-made. In America, we often celebrate being self-made, but look deeper. The entrepreneur depends on mentors, customers, internet connections, and supply chains. The athlete depends on coaches, teammates, and fans. The artist depends on teachers, culture, and every person who has ever told a story before. No one makes it alone. This truth doesn't lessen achievement. It magnifies gratitude. Every success is shared success. A story. The starfish and the ocean child once picked up a starfish stranded on the shore and threw it back into the ocean. A man laughed. "There are thousands. You can't save them all." The child replied, "I saved that one." This story is often told as a lesson in compassion. But look deeper. The starfish, the ocean, the child, the man, all are part of one web. The tide, the moon pulling the tide, the sun fueling the moon's orbit, all conditions interweave. The child's small act rippled outward, not only to the starfish, but to the man who watched, and to us who now remember. Healing division with interdependence. In times of conflict, it is easy to forget connection. We draw lines. Me versus you. Us versus them. But interdependence dissolves those lines. The stranger you distrust may one day deliver the medicine you need. The neighbor you ignore may grow the food that feeds your children. The person you dislike shares the same air, the same fragile earth, the same longing to be safe and loved. When we remember this, walls soften. Compassion has space to grow. Practice. Seeing with interbeing eyes. Try this tomorrow. Choose one ordinary object, maybe your morning toast. Pause before eating and whisper, "I see the farmer in this bread. I see the rain, the soil, the sun. I see the truck driver, the baker, the shopkeeper. I see countless hands, countless lives within this slice." This simple practice turns an ordinary meal into a meditation on connection. Gratitude flows naturally. The mirror of relationships. Every relationship is a mirror of interdependence. Think of a quarrel. You may feel the other person is 100% wrong, but look deeply. Your tone influenced their tone. Your timing shaped their timing. Your stress fed their stress. This doesn't erase responsibility, but it reveals the dance of conditions. No one acts in a vacuum. Understanding this opens the door to dialogue, to repair, to growth. Parenting and interdependence. Parents often feel overwhelmed, believing they must carry everything alone. But interdependence shows that raising a child is a village effort. Teachers, friends, neighbors, even strangers, all shape a child's journey. For parents, this truth brings relief. You are not alone. For children, it brings humility. You are the fruit of countless hands. Story. The net of Indra. Ancient Buddhist texts describe the universe as Indra's net, an infinite web with a jewel at every intersection. Each jewel reflects all others. Touch one and all shimmer. This image is a perfect picture of interdependence. You are a jewel. Everything you do reflects outward, and everything around you reflects within you. When you breathe, you are not only yourself, you are also trees, air, ancestors, stars. Your life is both small and immeasurably vast. Gentle practice, breathing with the world as you prepare for sleep. Place a hand on your chest. Breathe in and whisper, "This breath is given by the trees." Breathe out and whisper, "This breath nourishes the world." Feel how even in breathing you are connected. Life is not happening in isolation. You are in constant exchange with everything around you. Interdependence in stressful times. Think of a stressful meeting at work. It feels like you are alone under pressure, but the stress is not yours alone. It arises from deadlines, from a boss's own stress, from clients, from economic systems. This doesn't remove responsibility, but it softens the burden. You realize you are swimming in conditions, not failing in isolation, and knowing this, you can respond with more patience, with more clarity, with more compassion. Forgiveness and interdependence. Forgiveness becomes easier when we see interdependence. Someone harmed you, but they are not simply the harm. They are a web of causes, their upbringing, their wounds, their ignorance. This doesn't excuse harm, but it reminds us that the story is larger than a single villain. And when you forgive, you don't only free them, you free yourself, and the web ripples with healing. So here, in the stillness of night, reflect. Nothing stands alone. Not your joy, not your sorrow, not even your breath. You are supported by countless conditions, countless lives. And when suffering arises, it too is not random. It is woven from threads of causes and conditions. In our next journey, we will explore the meaning of suffering, not as punishment, not as cruelty, but as a teacher, as a doorway to wisdom and compassion. The meaning of suffering, why suffering exists at some point in life. Each of us whispers, "Why must I suffer?" The Buddha's very first teaching began with this truth. Life contains suffering. Not because life is cruel, but because everything is impermanent and interdependent. Pain is not a punishment. It is a natural part of being alive. Every day, faces of suffering a parent worries for their child's future. A worker fears losing a job. A young person feels heartbreak. An elder feels the ache of aging. Story. The mustard seeder woman named Kisa Gotami lost her only child. In unbearable grief, she begged the Buddha for medicine. He told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from any household untouched by death." She searched and searched. Every door she knocked on, every family she met, had known loss. She returned with no seed, but with a new understanding. Suffering is universal. This story teaches us, suffering is not just my story, it is our story. And in that recognition, loneliness softens pain. As a teacher, suffering has meaning because it teaches. Grief teaches love's depth. Failure teaches resilience. Illness teaches fragility, and gratitude, loneliness teaches the value of connection. Without suffering, we might drift through life asleep, never pausing to cherish what is fleeting. Suffering wakes us up. Example, the broken heart. Think of your first heartbreak. At the time, it felt unbearable. Yet, with distance, you may see how it shaped you, how it deepened empathy for others, how it guided future choices, how it opened you to compassion. Suffering carved space in you where wisdom could grow. Practice holding suffering gently tonight. As you lie down, place your hand over your heart. Bring to mind one sorrow. Whisper, "This is suffering, and suffering is part of being human." Then whisper, "May I hold this suffering gently, as I would hold a wounded child." Notice how the pain softens when cradled in compassion, the first noble truth. The Buddha called this dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness. Life is not always what we want, but he did not stop there. He showed that suffering arises from causes, craving, clinging, ignorance, and therefore suffering can also end. Suffering is meaningful because it signals the path to transformation. The universal language of pain. Think for a moment about how suffering unites us. A mother in New York grieving the loss of a child feels the same ache as a mother in a small village in India. A teenager in California rejected by friends feels the same sting as a teenager in Japan. Though our stories are different, the feeling of pain is universal. This is why the Buddha called suffering a noble truth, because it is not a secret to be hidden, but a reality to be embraced. Recognizing it makes us more human, more compassionate. Story: The Crying Stranger. A man once saw a woman crying at a bus stop. He didn't know her story, yet something in her sobs touched his heart. He sat beside her and said nothing. After a while, she whispered, "Thank you for being here." This shows the meaning of suffering. It is a bridge. Even without words, it connects one heart to another. Hidden gifts of suffering. We often think of suffering as only negative, but with awareness, it becomes a teacher. Fear of death reminds us to cherish life. Loneliness awakens us to the need for community. Disappointment pushes us to seek deeper meaning. Illness teaches the value of health and rest. Every suffering, when held mindfully, carries a seed of insight. Practice: breathing with what hurts. As you breathe tonight, choose one pain you carry. Don't fight it. Instead, breathe in and say silently, "Breathing in, I see my pain." Exhale. Breathing out, I offer it kindness. You may notice the pain doesn't vanish, but it softens. Like ice melting into water, it becomes more fluid, less sharp. Why denial? Doesn't work? Modern culture often tells us to stay positive and push suffering away. But denial is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It always bounces back. Facing suffering doesn't mean drowning in it. It means gently acknowledging, yes, this is here, and I can learn from it. This honest acceptance brings more peace than endless denial. Suffering, then, is not the enemy. It is a companion, sometimes harsh but often wise. In the next part, let's see how suffering can be transformed into compassion, resilience, and even joy. Suffering as compost. Imagine a garden. Dead leaves, waste, and decay seem ugly, unwanted. Yet when returned to the soil, they become compost, rich with nutrients. Without compost, flowers would not bloom. Suffering is like that. It feels heavy, dark, unwelcome. But with mindfulness, it becomes the soil where understanding and compassion grow. Story: The lotus in the mud. The lotus flower is admired for its beauty, but it can only grow in muddy water. Without mud, no lotus. In the same way, without suffering, no compassion. Without struggle, no resilience. Without loss, no gratitude. Suffering in modern life at work. Stress feels endless, but stress reveals values. What matters to you? What boundaries need setting? In family, conflict hurts, but conflict reveals unmet needs, guiding deeper communication. In society, injustice wounds, but it awakens collective action and courage. Pain is not wasted when seen with wisdom. Practice: breathing with pain. When pain arises, try this. Inhale. Breathing in, I feel this pain. Exhale. Breathing out, I hold it with compassion. Do not push pain away. Do not drown in it. Hold it like a cloud passing through a vast sky. Turning toward, not away. Our instinct is to escape suffering with distraction, consumption, or denial. But escape only deepens the wound. Healing begins when we turn towards suffering. Look at it with soft eyes and ask, what are you teaching me? Often, suffering teaches patience, humility, compassion, qualities that comfort not only us, but everyone we touch. Story: The Wounded Soldier. A soldier once returned from war, haunted by guilt. He told a monk, "I can never forgive myself." The monk said, "Plant trees." Confused, the soldier obeyed. Over years, he watched them grow tall, giving shade, fruit, and homes for birds. Slowly, he saw that while he could not change the past, he could plant healing in the present. his suffering became the fuel for service. Suffering connects us. When you share your story of loss, others feel less alone. When you admit your struggles, others find courage. When you transform your suffering into compassion, the world becomes gentler. Your suffering has meaning not only for you, but for everyone around you. So tonight, remember, suffering is not a punishment. It is part of the human fabric. It is mud that grows lotus, compost that nourishes gardens, fire that forges strength. Turning wounds into wisdom, think of someone who survived great hardship, maybe illness, loss, or trauma. Many such people later become healers, mentors, or activists. Why? Because suffering carves space in them for empathy. Your wounds don't disqualify you from living fully. They prepare you to comfort others. Story. The broken pot of water carrier had 2 pots, one perfect, the other cracked. Each day he carried water and the cracked pot leaked half along the way. The pot wept, "I am useless." The carrier replied, "Look at the path. Flowers bloom only on your side. Your cracks watered them, so it is with suffering. Our cracks may seem shameful, but they nourish unseen beauty." How suffering builds. Strength stress at work can teach boundaries and balance. Conflict in love can teach communication and forgiveness. Financial struggle can teach creativity and humility. Failure can teach resilience and humility. When we stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can this teach me?" suffering shifts from weight to teacher. Practice. The journal of lessons. Tomorrow, try writing 1 line. Today's difficulty taught me. Even if the lesson feels small, patience in traffic, courage in a meeting, it transforms pain into wisdom. A soldier's healing. Earlier, we told the story of the soldier who planted trees. Let's deepen it. At first, each tree he planted was just labor, a way to escape guilt. But years later, when families picnicked under their shade, he realized his suffering had become a gift to strangers. This is the alchemy of pain. When transformed, it creates joy not just for you, but for the world. Suffering connects communities in times of disaster. Floods, fires, storms, people rush to help strangers. Why? Because suffering awakens our shared humanity. Suddenly, labels of race, politics, or status fall away. What remains is simple: human helping human. In this way, suffering becomes a teacher of unity. Practice for rest. As you close your eyes, think of one pain you carry. Visualize it as a dark stone. Now imagine placing that stone in a flowing river. Watch the current carry it, polish it, make it smooth. Whisper, "This pain can become wisdom." So suffering is not meaningless. It is mud that grows lotus, cracks that water flowers, darkness that teaches us to cherish light. And when we meet suffering with mindfulness and compassion, it leads us naturally to the practice that steadies the heart. Mindfulness in daily life. The teaching we will explore next. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness means living awake, truly here, in this very moment. It is noticing the breath without chasing tomorrow, noticing a smile without dragging yesterday into it. The Buddha compared mindfulness to a lamp. When the lamp is lit, we see clearly. Without it, we stumble in the dark, even in familiar rooms. Everyday forgetfulness. Think about how often we live on autopilot. Eating while scrolling through messages. Driving while replaying old conversations. Listening to someone while secretly drafting your to-do list. We are present in body, but absent in spirit. And because of this, we miss the sweetness of life. Mindfulness calls us back. It says, "Come home." The present is waiting. Story. The monk and the flower. A monk once asked his teacher, "What is the secret of peace?" The teacher lifted a single flower and simply smiled. The lesson was clear. Peace is found not in endless searching, but in seeing deeply into this very moment. Breath as an anchor, the breath is always here, always now. You don't need to create it. You only need to notice it. Try with me. Inhale slowly. Breathing in, I know I am alive. Exhale gently. Breathing out, I smile at this life. Even one mindful breath can change the atmosphere of your heart. Here is simple practices for everyday life. Mindful walking. Each step is an arrival. Whisper, I am here, I am home. Mindful eating. Taste each bite fully, as if it were the first fruit you ever received. Mindful listening. Give your whole attention to someone, as though no one else exists. These practices don't require special retreats. They fit into the ordinary rhythm of daily life. Story, washing the dishes. A Zen master said, when washing the dishes, wash the dishes. Most people wash dishes to get them done, thinking only of the meal ahead. But when you feel the warm water, smell the soap, hear the gentle clink of plates, even dishwashing becomes meditation. Peace is not waiting at the end of chores. It is already here, in the act itself. Practice for sleep. As you lie in bed tonight, place one hand on your belly. Breathe in, feel it rise. Breathe out, feel it fall. Whisper, this breath is enough. This moment is enough. Mindfulness turns even the act of falling asleep into a sacred practice. When mindfulness is alive, each act becomes sacred. Eating, walking, washing, breathing, all can open the door to peace. And yet, mindfulness is not only for calm moments. Its true power is revealed when we face difficulty, stress, anger, sadness. Let's explore that in the next part. The taste of the present mindfulness means tasting life fully. Imagine eating a strawberry. If you rush, you hardly notice. But if you pause, you taste the sweetness, the slight tartness, the freshness of the juice. That simple strawberry holds sunshine, soil, rain, and the care of farmers. Mindfulness teaches us that every moment, like the strawberry, carries the whole universe within it. Story. The sweeping monk in an old temple. A monk swept the floor with total presence. A visitor asked, "Why sweep so slowly? Aren't you wasting time?" The monk smiled. "I am not sweeping dust, I'm sweeping my heart." This is mindfulness. Every action becomes a meditation. Every task a chance to return home. Mindfulness and gratitude. Gratitude naturally arises when we are mindful. Drinking water mindfully, we thank the clouds. Breathing mindfully, we thank the trees. Walking mindfully, we thank the earth beneath our feet. Without mindfulness, gratitude fades. With mindfulness, gratitude becomes natural, effortless. A gentle morning ritual when you first wake, before rushing into screens or worries. Sit up in bed. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe in and whisper, "I have woken up." Breathe out. This is a new day. This tiny act sets a tone of peace for the hours ahead. The science of mindfulness. Modern studies confirm what the Buddha taught. Mindfulness lowers stress, eases anxiety, improves sleep, and strengthens relationships. But beyond science, mindfulness brings meaning. It reminds us we are alive here now. So mindfulness is not escape. It is engagement. It helps us savor tea, breathe deeply, sweep the floor with peace, and soon we discover. Mindfulness is most needed when life feels stormy. That is where we'll go next. Mindfulness with difficult emotions. Emotions can feel overwhelming. Anger like fire, sadness like a storm, anxiety like tight knots. Without mindfulness, we are swept away. With mindfulness, we become the sky that holds the weather. Try this. When anger arises, whisper, "Hello, anger. I see you. Do not push it away. Do not let it control you. Simply acknowledge it as a passing guest. Story. The two arrows. The Buddha said, life shoots us with two arrows. The first arrow is pain, unavoidable. The second arrow is how we respond, anger, blame, resistance. Mindfulness removes the second arrow. When you stub your toe, pain is natural, but shouting, "Why always me?" is optional. Mindfulness teaches us to stop after the first arrow. Mindfulness in relationships. So much suffering comes from inattention. A spouse feels unheard. A child feels invisible. A friend feels dismissed. Mindful presence is the greatest gift. Listening deeply without preparing a reply heals more than advice ever could. Mindfulness at workplaces are filled with stress, but mindfulness can transform them. Begin meetings with 3 breaths. Before sending an email, pause. Is it clear? Is it kind? Between tasks, stand, stretch, and smile. These small acts ripple outward, shaping the whole environment. Modern example. Imagine you come home exhausted. Your child runs to you, eager to share their drawing. Normally you nod without seeing, but one evening you breathe, set aside distractions, and truly look. Their joy multiplies. That moment plants a lifelong seed of connection. This is mindfulness, turning ordinary seconds into timeless treasures. Practice for tomorrow. When you wake up tomorrow, before checking your phone, whisper, "Today, I will live one breath at a time." Then, as you walk to brush your teeth, feel your feet on the floor. As you drink water, feel the coolness. As you greet someone, look into their eyes. Mindfulness is not a task to finish. It is a way of walking through life. The fruit of mindfulness. When mindfulness blooms, several fruits appear. Clarity, seeing things as they are, not as we imagine. Patience, giving space for growth. Compassion, understanding others. Suffering, joy, delighting in simple moments. These fruits nourish not only us, but everyone around us. Mindfulness steadies the heart and clears the mind. And from this ground, compassion naturally arises. Compassion for ourselves, for others, and for the world. Mindfulness in stressful times. Imagine a stressful meeting. Voices clash, deadlines loom. Without mindfulness, the heart races, the mind spirals. But if you take one breath, you create a gap. In that gap lies freedom. Freedom to respond with clarity, not just react. Mindfulness doesn't erase stress, but it gives you space to handle it with grace. Story. The farmer and the storm destroyed a farmer's crops. He wept. "My life is ruined." An elder said, "Breathe, plant again." The next season, his fields grew stronger, nourished by the storm's rain. Mindfulness is like that elder's advice. It doesn't stop the storm, but it steadies your heart until the sun returns. Mindfulness in parenting. Children don't need perfect parents. They need present ones. When a child speaks, even 1 minute of full attention can feel like a lifetime gift. Mindfulness transforms ordinary evenings into sacred moments of connection. A digital pause before posting on social media. Pause. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This is mindful communication. Online worlds can wound, but mindfulness turns technology into a tool for connection rather than division. Practice. The body scan. At night, lie down and scan your body. Notice your toes, legs, chest, arms, face. Whisper, "Thank you, body, for carrying me." Mindfulness of the body brings rest deeper than sleep alone. The gift of presence. Ultimately, mindfulness is love made visible. When you are truly present with someone, you say silently, "You matter." This moment matters. No grand gestures, just full attention. And often, that is enough to heal. Mindfulness steadies the heart, But presence naturally blooms into compassion, the wish to ease suffering. In the next part, we'll explore that flowering, compassion and letting go. Compassion and letting go. The heart that softens. Compassion begins when we see suffering clearly, in ourselves, in others, and respond not with judgment, but with tenderness. The Buddha often reminded his students, hatred is never ended by hatred. Only by love is hatred ended. Compassion is the medicine that transforms pain into connection. Story: the wounded dog once. A dog wounded in the street growled at anyone who came near. Most people shouted and threw stones, but one man crouched low, speaking softly, and offered water. The dog trembled, then slowly leaned in. This is compassion, seeing past the growl to the wound beneath. People too sometimes lash out not because they are evil, but because they are hurting. Compassion asks us to look beneath the anger and see the pain. Compassion for yourself. Often, we are kind to others but cruel to ourselves. We replay mistakes, criticize our bodies, doubt our worth. But if compassion means softening towards suffering, then self-compassion means softening toward our own suffering. Try whispering, "I'm doing my best. I deserve kindness too." This simple act can heal years of self-criticism. Practice. The hand on the heart. When you feel overwhelmed, place your hand on your chest. Breathe in and say, "This is a moment of suffering." Breathe out and say, "May I be gentle with myself." This practice turns your body into a shelter of compassion. Compassion in daily life. Compassion doesn't require grand gestures. It appears in letting someone merge in traffic, listening to a friend without offering solutions, smiling at a stranger on a hard day. Each act is small, but like ripples, they travel farther than you know. Story: the two wolves. An elder told his grandson, "Inside each of us are two wolves. One is anger, greed, hatred. The other is love, generosity, compassion." The boy asked, "Which one wins?" The elder replied, "The one you feed." Compassion grows when we feed it with mindful choices. Letting go of resentment. Holding resentment is like carrying a hot coal, hoping to burn someone else. We only burn ourselves. Letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing freedom over chains. When you forgive, you don't excuse harm. You release yourself from endless replay. Practice for forgiveness. Visualize someone who hurt you. Breathe and whisper, "You caused me pain, but I will not carry this pain forever. May you find peace so I can be free." Forgiveness is not weakness. It is courage. Compassion opens the heart. Letting go frees the heart. Together, they create space for peace. In the next part, we will go deeper into how compassion and letting go work in daily life, shaping relationships, communities, and even our sleep. Compassion for the wounded inner child. Many of us carry wounds from childhood, harsh words from parents, rejection from peers, mistakes we never forgave ourselves for. These wounds still whisper in our minds, "I am not enough. I am unworthy." Compassion means turning toward that inner child with tenderness. Instead of silencing or criticizing, you kneel down inside your own heart and whisper, "Little one, I see your pain. You are safe with me." This act is powerful. It transforms inner judgment into inner healing. Story: the teacher's hug. A school teacher once noticed a boy acting out in class. Instead of punishing him, she asked gently, "What do you need?" Tears filled his eyes. A hug. She embraced him, and his anger melted. We often behave like that boy, angry, restless. But beneath it all, we long for understanding. Self-compassion is learning to give ourselves that hug. Letting go of the story. Much suffering lingers because we replay old stories. They betrayed me. I failed. I was wronged. Each replay digs the wound deeper. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the story. It means loosening its grip. It means saying, yes, it happened, but it no longer defines me. Practice the river of stories. Close your eyes and imagine your painful memory as a log floating down a river. You don't need to dive in. You don't need to push it away. Just watch it drift, whisper. You are part of my story, but not the whole of me. This simple image frees you from drowning in the past. Compassion for strangers. Compassion also extends beyond the familiar. Think of the cashier who looks tired, the driver who cut you off, the neighbor who seems unfriendly. Mindfulness helps us remember each carries hidden struggles. When we soften our judgment, we plant seeds of kindness in the world. Story: the subway seat in New York. A woman once gave up her subway seat to a man who looked exhausted. He whispered, "You saved me. I've been on my feet 12 hours. That tiny act became his lifeline for the day. Compassion doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a small seat offered, a small smile shared. Letting go of control. Another heavy burden we carry is control. We want people to act as we wish, life to unfold as we plan. But control is an illusion. Letting go means trusting the flow. It means rowing your boat, but not fighting the river. When we stop grasping, peace enters. Practice. The open hand. Place your hand in a fist. Feel the tension. Then slowly open your palm. Whisper, "I let go." This small gesture teaches the body what the mind forgets. Freedom is found in release. Compassion and forgiveness. Forgiveness can feel impossible. Yet compassion reveals that those who hurt us often act from their own wounds. Again, forgiveness is not excusing harm. It is choosing not to carry the poison forever. It is giving yourself back your freedom. Story: the prisoner's release. A prisoner once said, "I will never forgive those who jailed me unjustly." His teacher replied, "Then you are still in prison." Forgiveness was the key to his own freedom, not theirs. Compassion as strength many. Fear compassion makes us weak. In truth, compassion is the highest courage. Anyone can harden their heart. It takes strength to keep it soft. When we practice compassion and letting go, we don't become fragile. We become resilient, able to bend with life's storms without breaking. So, as you rest tonight, remember, compassion softens your wounds, letting go frees your heart. Together, they are not weakness, but wisdom, guiding you gently toward peace. In the next part, we will see how these qualities blossom not only in private life, but in communities, families, and the wider world. Compassion in relationships thrive not on perfection, but on compassion. When your partner is short-tempered, remember they may be tired. When your child misbehaves, remember they are learning. When your parent repeats a story, remember they long to be heard. Compassion transforms irritation into patience. Story: the quarrel. Two friends argued and stopped speaking. Months later, one saw the other struggling with groceries and instinctively helped. Without words, the ice melted. Compassion doesn't erase conflict, but it reminds us connection is more important than pride. Compassion in society. Imagine if workplaces, schools, governments practice compassion as policy. Stress would ease, violence would lessen, communities would heal. Though you cannot control the whole world, you can embody compassion where you stand, and each act becomes part of a larger movement. Practice compassionate listening. Next time someone speaks, listen as if their words are precious. Don't plan your reply. Don't judge. Simply receive. Many people suffer not from lack of answers, but from lack of being heard. Listening itself is compassion. Letting go of control. Much suffering comes from trying to control what we cannot. The weather, other people's choices, the past. Letting go doesn't mean indifference. It means relaxing into reality. You still act wisely, but you stop fighting what is unchangeable. Story. The monk and the boat. Two monks crossed a river in a small boat. One worried aloud, "What if the current takes us? What if we sink?" The other simply rowed, saying, "Each stroke, one at a time." Control is an illusion. Letting go means focusing on the strokes we can take, not the current we cannot command. Practice for sleep. Releasing the day. As you lie down, imagine placing today's worries into a basket. Whisper, "I let go of what I cannot change tonight." Place the basket beside your bed. Rest knowing you can pick it up tomorrow if needed. This ritual frees the mind for rest, the union of compassion and letting go. Compassion without letting go can exhaust you. Letting go without compassion can make you cold. But together, they create balance. Compassion opens the heart. Letting go protects the heart. With both, you love without drowning, care without clinging. So, as we drift into rest tonight, remember, compassion softens the heart. Letting go frees the heart. Together, they prepare the ground for deeper peace. Compassion at work. In offices, compassion may seem out of place among deadlines and targets. Yet, even small acts change the atmosphere. Manager noticing when someone is overwhelmed. A colleague offering help without being asked. An employee writing emails with clarity and respect instead of haste. 1. Compassionate action can ripple through a team, reducing stress and building trust. Story. The coffee breaker woman in a corporate office noticed a co-worker always ate lunch alone. One day, she invited him for coffee. Years later, he confessed, "That small gesture saved me. I was drowning in loneliness." Compassion doesn't need grandeur. Sometimes, it's simply sitting with someone so they don't sit alone. Compassion in families can be the hardest place to practice compassion because wounds run deep. Parents and children often misunderstand each other. Siblings carry old grudges. Couples clash. Letting go here means choosing connection over being right. It means saying, "I'm sorry," even when ego resists. It means forgiving the small hurts so love can flow again. Practice. The 3 words. Next time tension arises at home, pause, breathe, and whisper softly, even if only in your heart, "I love you." This doesn't erase conflict, but it changes the soil in which conflict grows. Compassion in society, on a larger scale. Compassion and letting go are the roots of healing communities. Violence, inequality, and division thrive on fear and resentment. Compassion dissolves fear. Letting go dissolves vengeance. When communities respond to harm not only with punishment, but also with understanding, cycles of violence can break. Story. The restorative circle. In one American school, instead of suspending students for fights, teachers began hosting restorative circles. Students sat together, shared their pain, and listened. Over time, suspensions dropped, friendships grew, and compassion replaced punishment. Letting go here meant releasing the urge for revenge, choosing instead the courage to repair. Compassion for strangers. Think of airports, hospitals, subways, places where people carry stress, fear, exhaustion. A smile, a patient word, a door held open may seem small, but they land in tired hearts like rain on dry soil. We rarely know how heavy someone's burden is. Compassion lightens it, even briefly. Letting go of perfection. Many suffer because they cannot meet impossible standards of beauty, success, productivity. Compassion means telling yourself, I am human, I am enough. Letting go means releasing the need to prove yourself endlessly. When you free yourself from perfection, you also free others, because your acceptance teaches them they too are enough. Practice. Evening release before sleep. Sit quietly and recall the day. Notice one thing you did well, however small. A kind word, an honest effort. Smile at it. Then notice one thing you wish you had done differently. Whisper, I let you go. Tomorrow is new. This practice turns each night into a gentle cleansing, preparing the heart for rest. The strength of softness, compassion, and letting go are not signs of weakness. They require great courage. Anyone can hold a grudge. It takes strength to forgive. Anyone can harden their heart. It takes resilience to keep it soft. Softness is not fragility. It is flexibility, like bamboo bending in the storm while rigid trees break. Compassion makes us like bamboo, supple, enduring, alive. So as you rest tonight, feel the softness of compassion and the freedom of letting go. They are twin wings. One opens the heart, the other lightens it. And as dawn comes, we bring these qualities into our modern lives, workplaces, families, communities shaped by speed and stress. That is where our path will carry us next part. Modern applications, where Buddhist wisdom meets the challenges of today's world. Modern applications, the ancient in the modern. The Buddha's teachings were spoken thousands of years ago, in quiet forests and simple villages. Yet tonight, you are hearing them through a digital screen, in a world of airplanes, smartphones, and global news. It may seem like these teachings belong to another era, but in truth, they are timeless, because human hearts have not changed. We still suffer, we still love, we still long for peace. At workplaces today are filled with stress, emails piling, meetings back to back, expectations heavy. But mindfulness and compassion can transform even the busiest office. Before a meeting, pause for 3 breaths. Before replying to a harsh email, ask, will this plant a seed of peace or stress? As a manager, begin conversations with gratitude before correction. Small acts shift the whole culture of work. One mindful worker can calm an entire team. Story: the CEO's pause. CEO known for his temper once began practicing mindfulness. Before each meeting, he silently placed his hand on his chest and breathed 3 times. Over months, his staff noticed he grew calmer, kinder. Productivity rose, but more importantly, stress fell. Ancient practice, modern setting, the result was healing. In families. Modern families juggle many pressures. Parents balancing work, children overwhelmed by school, elders facing loneliness. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, presence is the greatest gift. Instead of multitasking through dinner, put away phones. Look at one another. Share gratitude. Even 10 mindful minutes together can restore warmth. Story: the dinner table. A teenager complained, "My parents are always on their phones." One night, the family made a rule: no devices at dinner. At first, the silence felt awkward, but slowly stories flowed, laughter returned. The teenager later said, "It felt like having my family back." Mindfulness brought healing, not through big speeches, but through simple presence. In relationships, couples often argue about the past or worry about the future. Mindfulness invites them to return to now instead of saying, "You always," or "What if you never?" Breathe, look into your partner's eyes and say, "In this moment, I am here with you." This practice rebuilds intimacy. It transforms relationships from battlegrounds into gardens. In technology is a double-edged sword. It connects us, but also distracts us, isolates us, overwhelms us. The Buddhist teaching of right use reminds us, tools are not the problem, how we use them matters. Before posting online, ask, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Before scrolling endlessly, ask, am I feeding peace or restlessness? With awareness, technology becomes a tool for compassion, not harm. Practice. The digital bell, let one notification each day become your bell of mindfulness. Instead of reacting instantly, pause, breathe, and smile. Turn technology from a thief of attention into a reminder of presence. Mindfulness in American daily life. Picture a Tuesday morning. The alarm rings. You grab your phone, check emails before getting out of bed. Coffee is rushed, breakfast skipped, traffic stressful. By the time you arrive at work, your mind is already tangled. Buddhist wisdom whispers, pause, breathe, return. Even in this modern chaos, mindfulness can be practiced. While drinking coffee, pause, feel the warmth. Taste each sip. While waiting at a red light, breathe slowly. Turn the light into a bell of mindfulness. Before entering the office, whisper, I am here. This moment matters. Tiny shifts restore sanity in a busy culture. Story. The nurses pause a nurse in a busy hospital faced exhaustion. Patients complained, doctors rushed, her body ached. One day, she began pausing for one mindful breath before entering each patient's room. Her colleagues noticed. Her voice softened. Her presence calmed patients. Later she said, that one breath saved me. It turned each room from a battlefield into a place of care. Mindfulness doesn't remove stress, but it transforms how we meet it. Technology as teacher phones, social media, constant notifications, they seem to steal attention, but they can also remind us to wake up. Each buzz can be your bell. Instead of reacting instantly, breathe. Ask, am I opening this out of need or habit? If it's habit, maybe set the phone down. Technology itself is neutral. With mindfulness, it becomes a teacher. Practice. The mindful email before pressing send, pause. Read the email again. Is it clear? Is it necessary? Is it kind? This small act prevents confusion, eases tension, and plants seeds of respect. Gratitude in modern comforts. Think of the electricity lighting your room, the clean water from your faucet, the road that carries your car. Each is the fruit of countless unseen hands. Mindfulness opens gratitude for these modern blessings. Gratitude, in turn, heals the sense of emptiness that consumer culture often leaves. So even in skyscrapers and subways, in emails and screens, the Buddha's teachings live. The ancient path of mindfulness still fits perfectly into the rhythm of modern life. Facing injustice. The modern world carries heavy wounds. Inequality, violence, injustice. These realities cause anger and despair. But Buddhist wisdom offers a way. Act with compassion, not hatred. Anger may fuel quick action, but only compassion sustains long change. Like water smoothing stone, compassion transforms slowly, but deeply. Story. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King studied Buddhist teachings on nonviolence. He said, hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. His movement was powerful, not because it was loudest, but because it was rooted in compassion, even for those who opposed him. This is timeless wisdom in modern struggle. Climate anxiety, many today, fear for the planet. News of fires, floods, storms weighs heavily. Buddhist interdependence reminds us, we are not separate from the earth. Protecting nature is protecting ourselves. Even small acts, planting trees, reducing waste, teaching children reverence for the sky and soil, becomes sacred when done mindfully. Practice, breathing with the earth as you inhale, whisper, "This breath is the gift of trees." As you exhale, whisper, "This breath nourishes the earth." Suddenly, anxiety softens into connection. You realize you are not fighting against the earth. You are breathing with it, facing uncertainty. The modern world moves fast. Economies shift, jobs vanish, technology disrupts. Uncertainty feels endless. The Buddha taught impermanence not to frighten us, but to prepare us. When we accept change as natural, uncertainty loses its terror. Like a surfer on waves, mindfulness helps us ride change with balance instead of drowning in it. Story: the job loss. A man lost his job after 20 years. At first, despair crushed him. But through mindfulness practice, he saw his identity was not the job. He explored new paths, discovered hidden talents, and eventually built a more fulfilling life. Suffering turned into renewal, ancient wisdom guiding a modern story. The search for meaning. In a world of endless consumption, many feel empty. Advertisements shout, "Buy this, you'll be happy." But happiness cannot be bought. It must be cultivated. Buddhism teaches, true joy comes not from having more, but from wanting less, from savoring what already is. Mindfulness reveals that a simple cup of tea, fully tasted, brings more peace than endless possessions. Practice the gratitude. Pause. 3 times a day, pause and name one thing you are grateful for. Sunlight on your face, a kind word, the taste of bread. Gratitude fills the emptiness that consumption never can. Compassion in community. Modern life often isolates, but community practice brings healing. Joining groups for meditation, service, or simply shared meals awakens the truth. We heal together. The Buddha said the Sangha, community, is one of the 3 jewels of refuge. Even today, in busy cities, this jewel still shines. So, the ancient wisdom of the Buddha is not locked in temples or texts. It breathes in offices, families, cities, screens, and struggles. When applied with mindfulness and compassion, these teachings make even modern chaos a path of awakening. Compassion in times of division. The modern world often feels divided. Politics, race, beliefs, wealth. Social media amplifies anger. Yet Buddhist wisdom reminds us, beneath opinions and identities, all humans share the same wish: to be safe, to be loved, to be free from fear. Compassion means seeing this shared humanity. Letting go means releasing the need to always be right. Together, they heal division. Story: the protester and the officer at a protest. A young man shouted angrily at a police officer. The officer, instead of shouting back, looked at him and said softly, "I hear your pain." The young man broke down in tears. That moment did not solve the world's problems, but it planted a seed, the seed of recognition. Compassion disarms anger more than force ever could. Healing climate anxiety. Many today carry heavy grief for the planet. Fires, storms, and melting ice bring despair. Buddhism teaches, grief is natural, but it can become action. Planting a tree, reducing waste, teaching children to love the earth. These are acts of compassion for future generations. Letting go here means releasing the illusion that you alone can fix everything. Instead, you act with love, trusting that each seed of care ripples outward. Practice. The evening release. At night, think of one worry about the world you cannot solve alone. Breathe in. I care. Breathe out. I let go of carrying it all. This doesn't mean apathy. It means resting, so tomorrow you can act again with fresh strength. The gift of uncertainty. Uncertainty feels frightening, but it is also possibility. Without change, no healing, no renewal could happen. Mindfulness teaches us to meet uncertainty with curiosity, instead of, what if everything falls apart? Try, what new path may open? This shift transforms fear into hope. Story. The job interviewer woman failed several interviews. She wanted to give up, but her meditation teacher reminded her, this failure is not your identity, it is compost for growth. Months later, she found work better suited to her heart. Her suffering was not wasted. It became soil for renewal. Community as refuge in cities, people often feel isolated. But mindfulness groups, meditation circles, even online communities can become sangha, places of shared practice and support. Compassion blossoms more easily together. One candle lights another. One mindful breath inspires many. So, in modern times, with division, technology, uncertainty, and change, the Buddha's wisdom remains a steady compass. And now, as we prepare for rest, we turn from theory to practice, to a guided meditation of healing and release. This is the heart of guided healing and sleep meditation. Guided healing and sleep meditation. Preparing for rest as you lie down now, let your body settle into the mattress. Feel the weight of your head supported by the pillow. Feel your arms resting gently by your side. Feel your legs sinking into the bed, as if the earth itself is cradling you. Take one deep breath in and a long, slow breath out. You have arrived in this moment. There is nowhere else you need to be. Relaxing the body, let us soften the body, part by part. Bring awareness to your feet. Notice any tension. Breathe in, and as you exhale, let the feet relax completely. Move to your calves. Breathe in, and as you exhale, release every bit of tightness. Bring attention to your thighs. Inhale, exhale, soften. Feel them grow heavy, safe, at rest. Notice your hands. Inhale, and as you exhale, let your fingers loosen, palms open. Move to your shoulders. With each breath, allow them to drop as if laying down a heavy backpack. Finally, your face. Soften the forehead, unclench the jaw, let the tongue rest. Feel your whole face ease into peace. Your body is now like a calm lake at sunset, still and serene. Breathing into healing now, bring awareness to your breath. Don't force it. Simply notice. Air entering, air leaving, like gentle waves kissing the shore. With each inhale, imagine breathing in peace. With each exhale, imagine releasing tension. Inhale calm. Exhale release. Inhale peace. Exhale letting go. Visualization. The healing garden. Picture yourself walking into a quiet garden at twilight. The air is soft, filled with the scent of flowers. A gentle breeze touches your skin. The sky is painted in deep blues and purples, the first stars beginning to shine. In this garden, every plant, every stone, every drop of dew is here to comfort you. You are safe here. You sit by a small pond. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the moonlight. You gaze into the water and see your own reflection, calm, gentle, at ease. This is you, whole, complete, alive in this moment. Healing the heart, bring to mind one worry, one burden you carry. Place it gently into the pond. Watch as the ripples spread, carrying it away. Then bring to mind one source of gratitude. Perhaps someone you love, or a simple joy like the warmth of sunlight or the sound of laughter. Place this gratitude into the pond. Watch as it glows, lighting the whole water with warmth. Feel the heart soften, healed by gratitude. Practice loving kindness. Whisper silently, "May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering." Now bring someone you love into your mind's eye. Whisper for them, "May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering." Extend this wish outward to friends, to strangers, even to those you struggle with. Finally, extend it to the whole world. May all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. As you rest in this healing garden of breath and compassion, your body grows heavy, your mind calm. Sleep is approaching like a gentle tide. But before drifting off completely, let us continue the meditation, guiding you deeper into rest, deepening the body scan. Now that your body has begun to soften, let us go deeper. Notice your ears, feel them relax, releasing the need to listen sharply. Allow them to rest in silence. Bring awareness to your eyes. Though closed, they may still hold tension. Imagine warm light soothing them, melting away strain. Move to your heart. Feel its rhythm. Whisper silently, "Thank you, heart, for beating for me without pause." Let gratitude wash over it. Finally, your mind. Picture it as a sky, vast and open. Thoughts may float like clouds, but you are the sky itself. Spacious, calm, boundless. Visualization, the forest. Picture yourself walking slowly along a forest path at dusk. Trees arch overhead, their leaves shimmering in moonlight. Each step is soft on the earth. The air is cool, fragrant with pine. Birdsong fades into stillness. Crickets begin their gentle rhythm. The forest cradles you like an old friend. Ahead you see a small wooden bench. You sit resting. The forest whispers, "You are safe. You belong. Rest is here." Healing words for the night as you breathe. Repeat silently, "I am safe. I am loved. I am enough." Let each phrase sink into your heart, like water nourishing thirsty soil. Practice releasing the body's burden. Imagine lifting a heavy backpack from your shoulders. Inside are today's worries, regrets, tasks unfinished. Place the backpack on the ground, walk away. Feel how light your body becomes. You don't need to carry the weight of the day into your sleep. Night is for healing, not for labor. Story, the old monk's advice. A young monk once confessed, "Master, my mind is restless at night. I replay the day endlessly." The old master smiled. "At sunset, I place the day in a basket and leave it outside my door. In the morning, I see what is still needed. But at night, I give myself permission to rest." This story reminds us, letting go is an act of wisdom, not neglect. Now, as your body grows heavy and your breath deepens, imagine yourself slowly drifting into the embrace of sleep, like a leaf floating on a calm river. Sleep is not something to chase. It is something to allow. Return to your breath. Inhale slowly, exhale fully. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into the bed. The mattress holds you, the pillow supports you, the earth cradles you. You are safe. You are cared for. You are allowed to rest. Visualization, the mountain of peace now. Imagine you are sitting at the base of a great mountain. The mountain is vast, unmoving, eternal. Storms may swirl at its peak, winds may howl, but the mountain remains steady. Feel yourself becoming the mountain, solid, grounded, unshaken by passing storms. Your worries are like clouds drifting across the mountain. They come, they go, but the mountain remains. You are that mountain, strong, calm, unshaken. Story. The lantern in The Night a Traveler once carried a lantern through a dark forest. At first, he feared the darkness beyond its light, but soon he realized the lantern didn't need to light the whole forest. It only needed to light one step at a time. Your breath is that lantern. It doesn't need to solve your whole life tonight. It only needs to light this moment. Practice. Letting go of the day, bring to mind one event from today that still lingers. Maybe stress at work, a disagreement, or unfinished tasks. Place it gently in your hands. Now imagine opening your hands, releasing it into the night sky. Watch it rise like a paper lantern, drifting higher until it becomes a star. Whisper, "I let you go. Tomorrow is new." Invitation to sleep. Your body is now deeply relaxed. Your mind is calm. If sleep comes, let it take you. If wakefulness lingers, let these words be a lullaby, carrying you gently. There is no need to try. Sleep will come as naturally as the tide returns to the shore. As you drift toward dreams, remember, you are safe. You are loved. You are part of a vast web of life. May you rest deeply. May your body heal. May your heart be light. May your dreams be gentle. And when morning comes, may you rise refreshed, carrying peace into a new day. Visualization. The starry sky. Imagine lying in an open meadow beneath a vast sky filled with stars. Each star is a friend, a guide, a guardian. They twinkle softly, watching over you. Feel the cool grass beneath you, the gentle air on your skin. You are safe under this cosmic blanket. Each breath out releases you deeper into this starry embrace. Healing the inner child. Bring to mind your younger self, perhaps as a child, innocent, curious, vulnerable. See them smiling at you. Gently place your arms around this child. Whisper, "You are safe. You are loved. You can rest now." Feel both of you merging, the child and the adult, becoming whole, healed, at peace. Story. The boat of sleep. An elder once told a child, "At night, imagine a small boat. Place your worries in it and push it into the river. Let the current carry it away. Then lie back on the shore and sleep beneath the stars." This story becomes your practice tonight. Visualize your worries floating away. Watch them drift until they vanish. Practice the golden light picture, a golden light above your head. With each breath, it slowly pours down, filling your body with warmth and safety. It flows through your head, quieting thoughts, down your shoulders, melting tension, through your chest, healing the heart, into your legs, bringing heaviness, inviting rest. By the time it reaches your feet, your whole body glows softly, cradled in light mantra for sleep as your breath slows. Whisper silently with each inhale and exhale. Inhale, peace in. Exhale, peace out. Like a lullaby, repeat until the words dissolve into dreams. As you drift, receive these blessings. May your sleep be deep. May your body heal. May your dreams be gentle. May you wake renewed, ready to live with peace. Rest now. The night holds you, the earth supports you, and love surrounds you. Living with balance. The search for balance. In today's world, balance feels rare. We rush through work, juggle family, chase success, and still feel incomplete. The Buddha's teachings remind us, peace is not found in extremes, but in the middle path. A life of balance between effort and ease, giving and resting, ambition and contentment. Story. The string of the lute monk once asked the Buddha how to meditate. He replied, "Just like a lute, if the string is too tight, it snaps. If too loose, it makes no sound. But when tuned just right, it creates harmony." Life is like that. Too much striving breaks us, too little care dulls us. Balance creates music. Balance in work modern culture glorifies hustle. Endless hours, constant productivity. But without balance, burnout arrives. Mindfulness teaches us to work with focus, then rest with intention. Begin work with 3 mindful breaths. End work with gratitude. Today, I did enough. Protect rest as sacred, not wasted. This rhythm prevents burnout and restores joy. Story: the farmer's seasons. A farmer works hard in spring, planting diligently, but in winter he rests, trusting the soil. He does not dig up the seeds daily to check. Balance is like this: effort when needed, trust when rest is required. Balance in relationships: too often, we give without limit until we are drained, or we withdraw completely to protect ourselves. Both extremes harm connection. Healthy love balances giving and receiving. It knows when to listen, when to speak, when to hold on, and when to let go. Compassion without boundaries exhausts us. Boundaries without compassion isolate us. Balance makes love sustainable. Practice: the 2 lists before sleep. Write 2 things. What I gave today: kindness, work, effort. What I received today: support, smiles, gifts. Seeing both reminds you, life is an exchange. Balance already exists if we look, so balance is not a luxury. It is the middle path the Buddha taught. And yet balance is fragile in modern life. Let us go deeper, exploring how balance can heal stress, families, and even society itself. Balance in modern life. Imagine a typical day in modern society. Rushing through traffic, skipping meals, juggling emails and meetings. At night, exhaustion arrives. Yet sleep feels far away because the mind is still racing. This is life out of balance. The body asks for rest, the heart asks for presence, but the mind keeps running endlessly. Mindfulness is the medicine. It doesn't demand quitting jobs or abandoning families. It simply asks, pause, breathe, and return to the middle path. Story: the burned-out lawyer worked 70 hours a week. He was successful but unhappy. One day, a mentor told him, "If you fall, your briefcases won't catch you. Balance your life before it balances you by force." He began walking 10 minutes in silence before work, eating dinner with his family without his phone, and meditating 5 minutes before sleep. Slowly, his joy returned. Balance doesn't mean doing less. It means living with intention. Balance of effort and rest. Many feel guilty when resting, as if rest is laziness. But rest is fuel. The Buddha himself rested. Even the earth rests in winter. Balance honors both sides. Effort gives life direction. Rest gives it strength. Without both, we break. Practice. The candle flame. Visualize your life as a candle flame. If the wick burns too hard, it dies quickly. If it doesn't burn at all, darkness remains. But steady burning gives light through the night. Whisper. Steady, not extreme. Bright, not burning out. So balance is not weakness. It is wisdom. It teaches us to live not in extremes, but in harmony. Tuning the strings of life like a lute, so music arises naturally. Balance in technology. Technology offers connection, but also distraction. Balance means using it mindfully. Set times for screens, times for silence. Share online, but also sit face to face. Let devices serve you, not enslave you. With balance, technology becomes a bridge, not a chain. Story. The student's Alama student once confessed, I check my phone 200 times a day. His teacher said, turn each check into a breath. Let the phone remind you to pause. Balance turns even habits into practice. Balance in food and health eating, too little weakens the body. Eating too much burdens it. Balance honors the body as a temple, feeding it mindfully, resting it gently, moving it joyfully. One mindful meal, one mindful walk is enough to restore harmony. Balance in giving and receiving. Many people give endlessly, but feel guilty when receiving. Yet receiving is also a gift. It allows others to give. Balance teaches us. Say thank you without deflecting. Accept help as naturally as you offer it. This reciprocity keeps relationships alive. Practice. The scale of the heart. Imagine a golden scale in your chest. On one side is effort, on the other is rest. On one side is giving, on the other receiving. Each day, pause and notice. Which side is heavier? Gently adjust. Whisper. Balance brings peace. Story. The monk's daily rhythm in one monastery. The day is divided. Hours for meditation, hours for work, hours for rest. Each activity supports the others. No part is wasted. Balance makes life flow like a river. Steady, nourishing. Balance in ambition dreams are beautiful, but chasing endlessly without balance leads to emptiness. The Buddha taught, true wealth is not what you own, but the peace you carry. Balance ambition with gratitude. Work toward goals, but pause to enjoy what you already have. As you lie here tonight, feel your body balanced on the bed. Inhale, exhale, the rhythm of balance itself. Whisper, I walk the middle path. I choose harmony. I live with balance. Let these words guide you into deep, restful sleep. Balance in money and simplicity. Modern life often equates success with money, but chasing endlessly leaves no peace. The middle path teaches, earn with honesty, spend with mindfulness, share with generosity. Too much attachment to wealth creates fear. Too little care for money creates hardship. Balance creates security without slavery. Story, the carpenter's choice. A carpenter earned enough, but always wanted more. He worked double shifts, missed family dinners, and his health declined. One evening, his child said, I don't need a bigger house, Dad. I need you. That night, he wept. He chose balance, working enough, but not at the cost of love. Balance in saying yes and no. Without balance, we say yes to everything and collapse, or no to everything and isolate. Balance means listening to the heart. A mindful yes plants joy. A mindful no protects peace. Practice the 3 breaths before answering. Next time someone asks something of you, pause. Breathe 3 times. Ask, will this request bring harmony or imbalance? Answer after the 3rd breath. This small pause saves much regret. Balance in community society thrives on balance. Laws with compassion, freedom with responsibility, individuality with unity. Without balance, communities fracture. With balance, they flourish. Story, the garden of tasks in. A shared garden. One villager worked obsessively, another barely worked. Conflict rose. The elder said, balance the effort. Work together, rest together, share the harvest. Harmony returned. Communities, like gardens, bloom only when balance is honored. Night practice. Balance in breath. As you lie here, notice your breath. Inhale effort, exhale rest. Inhale giving, exhale receiving. Inhale ambition, exhale gratitude. Balance is already within you, flowing with every breath. Balance in personal life, relationships, work, and society is not an achievement. It is a daily practice. And each night as you rest, you tune the strings of life once more. The art of gratitude. Why gratitude matters. In the middle of stress and rushing, we often forget the treasures already in our hands. Gratitude is the practice of remembering. It is the art of pausing and whispering, "Thank you." The Buddha taught that a grateful heart is the foundation of joy. Gratitude does not deny suffering. It simply shines light on what is still good, what is still here, what is still holding us. Everyday treasures. Think about the ordinary gifts of daily life. Clean water flowing from a faucet, a bed that holds your body each night, a voice of a loved one saying hello, a single breath, steady and free. Gratitude means noticing these small treasures that silently support us. Story: The Soldier's Return. A soldier returned from war and knelt to kiss the ground. His friend asked why. He said, "Because I no longer take the earth for granted." Sometimes suffering teaches us what we once ignored. Gratitude brings these truths into focus without waiting for loss. Gratitude and the mind. When the mind is caught in craving, "I need more, I need better," it never rests. Gratitude interrupts craving by saying, "What I have is already enough." This does not mean we stop growing or dreaming. It means we grow from fullness, not emptiness. Practice 3 blessings at night before sleep. Name 3 blessings of the day. They don't need to be grand. A smile, a meal, a gentle breeze. Write them down or whisper them silently. This practice trains the heart to lean toward light instead of darkness. Gratitude in relationships. How often do we forget to thank those closest to us? Partners, parents, children, friends. Gratitude softens irritation and renews love. Instead of focusing on flaws, say, "Thank you for being here." These words can heal more than long explanations. Story: The husband's note to husband once left a simple note each morning. "Thank you for sharing this day with me." At first, his wife smiled politely, but over months she said, "Your gratitude kept me going when I felt unseen." Gratitude makes invisible love visible. So gratitude is not only an emotion, it is a practice, a way of living. And when practiced deeply, it transforms families, communities, and even our relationship with life itself. Gratitude as a shift of vision. Gratitude does not change circumstances. It changes how we see them. A sink full of dishes can be a burden, or proof of meals shared. A noisy child can be an annoyance, or a sign of life and energy. A long commute can feel wasted, or become a quiet time to breathe. Gratitude shifts problems into perspectives. Story: The Blind Man's. Gift: A blind man once said, "Each morning, I thank my feet for carrying me where my eyes cannot guide. I thank the voices that describe the world to me. Gratitude makes my life not smaller but richer." He lacked what many take for granted, yet his heart overflowed with thanks. His story reminds us, gratitude is not about what we have, but how we see. Gratitude for the present moment. The mind often chases tomorrow or clings to yesterday. Gratitude brings us back, saying, "This moment is already a gift." As you lie here tonight, feel the pillow beneath your head, the breath in your chest, the quiet in the room. These simple things are treasures. Practice gratitude. Place a jar in your home. Each day, write one thing you are grateful for and drop it inside. On hard days, open the jar and read. Gratitude becomes visible, piling up like jewels you forgot you owned. Gratitude in relationships. When conflict arises, gratitude reminds us of the whole picture. Your partner may be late, but they also bring laughter. Your child may be messy, but they also bring joy. Gratitude balances irritation with perspective. Story: The Friend's Letter. A woman wrote her best friend a letter of thanks, listing every little kindness over the years. Her friend cried, saying, "I never knew you noticed." Gratitude not only heals our hearts, but touches others profoundly. So gratitude is not passive, it is active, alive, a daily choice. And when we practice it even in challenges, it becomes our greatest source of resilience. Gratitude in hardship. It may feel impossible to be grateful during illness, loss, or struggle. Yet gratitude in hardship is not about denying pain. It is about finding small lights in the darkness, in sickness. Gratitude for care, for breath that still moves. In grief, gratitude for the love that made loss so deep. In failure, gratitude for lessons that guide new paths. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it makes pain bearable. Story: the empty bowler woman who lost everything sat crying with an empty bowl. A monk gave her rice. As she ate, tears fell. She whispered, "Even in emptiness, life feeds me." From that day, she practiced daily gratitude for whatever came, no matter how small. Her joy slowly returned. Gratitude in modern life. Today's society constantly advertises, "You need more." Gratitude gently replies, "I have enough." Instead of chasing endlessly, gratitude invites us to savor what is already here. One breath, one laugh, one warm meal. This shift brings deep rest in a restless world. Practice gratitude. Walk, take a slow walk, silently naming gratitude with each step. Thank you, earth, for holding me. Thank you, air, for filling me. Thank you, eyes, for seeing beauty. A gratitude walk transforms the ordinary street into sacred ground. Gratitude for the earth. Every sip of water, every bite of food, every breath depends on the earth. Gratitude reminds us we are not separate. When we thank the sun, the rain, the soil, we begin to protect them. Gratitude becomes responsibility. Story: the farmer and the sky farmer once prayed only for rain. One day, after drought ended, he whispered, "Thank you, sky, for both rain and sun. Both are needed." True gratitude embraces the whole, not just what pleases us, but what sustains life. Gratitude, as healing research shows, gratitude lowers stress, improves sleep, and strengthens the immune system. But beyond science, gratitude heals loneliness. When we feel grateful, we realize we are never truly alone. Countless hands and lives support us each day. Practice gratitude for self. We often thank others but forget ourselves. Tonight, whisper, "Thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, heart, for beating for me. Thank you, mind, for learning, dreaming, trying." Self-gratitude heals the harshness we often direct inward. So as you lie down now, let gratitude be your pillow. Rest in the truth. You are already held by countless blessings. Whisper silently, "Thank you, life, for this moment. Thank you, heart, for this rest." And let gratitude carry you gently into sleep. Gratitude in challenges. When life is difficult, the mind says, "Nothing is good." Gratitude whispers back, "Look again." In illness, gratitude for those who care. In loss, gratitude for love that still echoes. In struggle, gratitude for strength you did not know you had. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it gives pain meaning. Story: the cracked cuppa monk cherished a small clay cup. One day it cracked. Instead of sadness, he smiled. "This cup teaches me impermanence, and still it holds water." His gratitude did not deny the flaw. It embraced the cup as it was. Gratitude beyond comparison. Modern life tempts us to compare. Their house, their success, their beauty. Gratitude frees us. It says, "What I have is enough. Who I am is enough." Without gratitude, envy grows. With gratitude, joy multiplies. Practice the gratitude breath. As you inhale, whisper, "Thank you for this breath." As you exhale, whisper, "Thank you for this release." Even one grateful breath turns air into blessing. Gratitude for the earth, gratitude for nature is not abstract. Each sip of water, each meal, each breeze is a gift. The more we thank the earth, the more we wish to protect it. Gratitude becomes care. Story. The rain song after weeks of drought. Rain finally fell. Children ran outside, laughing, dancing. An old woman whispered, "This is music. May I never forget to thank the rain." Her joy teaches us. Gratitude makes ordinary events holy. Gratitude as healing connection. Gratitude softens loneliness. When we feel thankful, we realize countless lives support us. Farmers, workers, strangers. We are woven into a web of care. This realization heals the illusion of isolation. Night practice. Gratitude for the day as you prepare for sleep. Recall 3 people who touched your day, directly or indirectly. Whisper thanks for each. Imagine sending them a soft light of appreciation. Let your heart grow lighter as you rest. Closing reflection. So gratitude is more than words. It is a way of being, a way of seeing, a way of resting. And when gratitude fills the heart, peace naturally follows. Living with simplicity. The beauty of simplicity. Modern life often tells us more is better. More possessions, more achievements, more speed. Yet often, the more we add, the heavier we feel. The Buddha taught that peace is not found in excess, but in simplicity. Simplicity does not mean poverty or denial. It means freedom, the art of choosing what truly matters and letting go of the rest. The weight of too much. Think of a closet overflowing with clothes, yet you still feel you have nothing to wear, or a schedule packed with meetings, yet you feel no progress, or a phone full of apps, yet you feel disconnected. Excess creates noise. Simplicity clears space for peace. Story. The traveler's bagger traveler began a long journey with a heavy bag. Every mile the bag grew heavier. Finally, exhausted, he opened it. Half the things he carried were unnecessary. He left them behind and walked freely. Life is like this. We carry too much. Grudges, clutter, endless shoulds. Simplicity is learning to put down the unnecessary. Simplicity in the home. A simple home does not mean empty. It means each object has purpose and brings joy. Clear the clutter. Keep what supports life. Create small corners of peace, a candle, a flower, a quiet chair. Let your home reflect calm, not chaos. A peaceful space creates a peaceful mind. Practice. The 5-item rule. Choose 5 items you no longer need. Donate them, recycle them, or let them go. Notice how even small acts of release create lightness in your heart. Simplicity in food. Mindful eating is simplicity in action. One bowl of warm soup, savored slowly, can bring more joy than a feast eaten in distraction. When we eat less but with presence, gratitude increases, waste decreases, and health improves. Story. The old master's meal. An old master ate the same simple meal each evening, rice and vegetables. A visitor asked, "Don't you get bored?" He smiled. "How could I be bored when each grain of rice holds the sun, the rain, the farmer, and the earth?" Simplicity is not lacking variety. It is tasting depth. Simplicity begins in our homes, in our meals, in our schedules, but it also extends to our minds and relationships. Let us continue. The noise of excess simplicity is not just about possessions, but about the noise we allow into our lives. Endless notifications, constant shopping, overfilled calendars, all create clutter in the heart. When we step back, we see peace is not hiding in more. Peace is waiting in less, but deeper. Story: the teacher's shoes. A teacher owned only 2 pairs of shoes. When asked why, he smiled, "Because that is all my feet can wear. More pairs would only sit in the dark." His answer reminds us, simplicity is not about deprivation, but clarity, keeping what truly serves life. Simplicity as freedom. Every item we own asks for care, dusting, storing, protecting. Every commitment we accept takes time and energy. When we choose simplicity, we free ourselves from invisible chains. Freedom comes not from owning everything, but from being owned by nothing. Practice: the one-table test. Look at one table or desk in your home. Ask, does each item here serve or suffocate me? Remove one thing that no longer serves. Notice the breath of space left behind. Small steps towards simplicity add up to vast freedom. Simplicity in words. Even words can be clutter. We often speak to fill silence, defend egos, or cover discomfort. Simplicity in speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and briefly. Sometimes, the most compassionate words are few. I see you. I love you. I'm here. Story: the silent meal-in. A retreat, participants ate one meal in silence. At first, awkwardness filled the air. Then, peace arrived. Each taste deepened. Each glance became gentler. Without clutter of chatter, simplicity revealed itself. This story shows silence itself can be nourishment. So simplicity is not emptiness. It is fullness, hidden under the noise of excess. And when we practice it, we uncover not less life, but more life in each moment. Simplicity in the mind. The most crowded place is often not our closets, but our minds, filled with worries, regrets, endless what-ifs. Simplicity means clearing mental clutter. Notice one thought at a time. Let go of replaying old stories. Return to the breath, the anchor of simplicity. When the mind quiets, life becomes clear. Story: the monk and the cup of water. A monk stirred a cup of muddy water and asked his students, "How can I make this clear?" They suggested filters, tools, effort. The monk set the cup down. Over time, the mud settled and the water cleared on its own. Simplicity is like that. When we stop stirring the mind constantly, clarity comes naturally. Simplicity in relationships love becomes heavy when cluttered with demands. You must always agree. You must always please me. Simple love says, I see you. I cherish you. This simplicity does not mean shallow. It means honest, kind, and uncluttered by endless conditions. Practice: the simple pause. When speaking to someone, pause before replying. Listen fully. Breathe, then respond. This simple pause removes misunderstanding and creates space for compassion. Simplicity in time. We often think we lack time, but simplicity teaches us it is not about having more hours, but using fewer for what doesn't matter. Cut down what drains life. Expand what nourishes it. Even one mindful hour can restore what a whole rushed day cannot. Story: the child's pebble. A child gave her father a pebble, saying, "It's for when you're too busy. Hold it and remember me." Each time the father touched the pebble, he slowed down, remembered love, and smiled. Simplicity in time means remembering what matters most. The joy of enough. The deepest freedom comes not from having everything, but from realizing, I already have enough. When the heart says enough, the endless chase ends. Joy arrives quietly, like a bird landing on your shoulder. Night practice. Simplicity in rest. As you lie here, release one unnecessary weight, a worry, a plan, a comparison. Whisper, enough for today, enough for this moment. Let simplicity cradle you into deep sleep. Simplicity in choices. Modern life overwhelms with choices. Endless menus, countless shows, infinite options online. Too many choices create stress. Simplicity means narrowing focus, choosing a few things and savoring them fully. Joy grows not from endless options, but from deep presence with the few we choose. Story. The boy and the toyser boy had a room full of toys but never smiled. One day his parents gave away most of them, leaving only 3 he loved most. Suddenly he played with joy, creativity, and peace. His happiness came not from more, but from enough. Simplicity in work is often measured by busyness, not effectiveness. Simplicity means focusing on what truly matters. Finishing one task fully instead of juggling 10 halfway. This creates both clarity and calm. Practice. The one thing focus. Tomorrow, choose one important task. Before starting, whisper, this is enough. Give it full attention until complete. Notice how peace grows from simplicity of focus. Simplicity. In emotions, we often complicate emotions by layering stories. I feel sad, and it's my fault, and it will never end. Simplicity means meeting emotion directly. This is sadness. When we name it simply, without adding extra stories, the heart softens. Story. The woman and the rainer woman cursed the rain each morning, saying it ruined her mood. An elder told her, rain is just rain. Your story makes it misery. The next day she looked again. The rain was still there, but misery was gone. Simplicity in emotions is seeing what is, without drowning in stories. Simplicity is joy. When life is simple, small joys shine. The warmth of tea, the laughter of a friend, the comfort of a soft blanket. Joy does not hide in distant dreams. It waits in present simplicity. Night practice. The whisper of enough as you lie here. Place your hand on your chest. Whisper softly, enough for today, enough for this life, enough for this moment. Let simplicity cradle you like a gentle lullaby. Joy in the present moment, the elusive search for joy. Many people chase joy in the future. I'll be happy when I succeed, when I earn more, when I change my life. But joy is not a destination. It is a companion waiting quietly in the present moment. The Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment, because the present is the only place joy can be touched. Small joys, great treasures. The taste of tea on the tongue, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of laughter from a child, the softness of a pillow at night. Joy is not hidden in extraordinary moments. It lives in these small treasures, if only we pause to notice. Story. The monk and the flower. A monk walked through a village. People hurried past, frowning. He stopped. smiled at a single flower and said, "How beautiful you are." Villagers laughed. "Why waste time on a flower?" The monk replied, "Because joy is found here, not in the rush." The flower did not change the world, but it changed the monk's heart. Joy as a practice. Joy is not naive optimism. It is a practice of noticing what is already good, even amid struggle. In difficulty, find one thing that is still working. In sorrow, remember the love that makes sorrow possible. In uncertainty, savor the breath that still steadies you. Practice the 3 joyful breaths. Take 3 slow breaths. With each inhale, notice something joyful. The body resting, the breath flowing, the heart still beating. Joy multiplies when we pause to see. Joy in relationships, true joy grows when shared. A smile given, a kind word spoken, a meal enjoyed together. These simple exchanges lift heavy hearts. Story. The old couple's laughter. An old couple argued often. One day, during an argument, the husband tripped and fell into a chair. They both burst out laughing. From then on, whenever fights grew heated, they remembered that moment and laughed instead. Joy doesn't erase conflict, but it softens it. So joy is not hidden in the distant future. It is here now, waiting in the present. Let us look deeper into how to cultivate joy in daily life. Joy, hidden in the ordinary. We often imagine joy as something grand, a vacation, a celebration, a great success. But when we slow down, we realize that joy is woven into the ordinary. The way morning light paints the wall, the scent of bread in the oven, the sound of rain tapping softly on the window. Joy does not need fireworks. It only needs presence. Story. The bus ride. A young woman dreaded her daily bus ride to work. Crowded, noisy, uncomfortable. One day she decided to look differently. She noticed a child smiling at his reflection, an old man offering his seat, the rhythm of the bus moving like waves. The ride became a meditation on connection. The bus did not change. Her awareness did, and joy appeared. Joy and contentment. Joy is closely tied to contentment. When we are always chasing, the heart feels restless. When we rest in what is, joy rises naturally. Contentment does not mean giving up ambition. It means walking toward dreams with gratitude for each step. Practice joyful eating at your next meal. Take one bite slowly. Notice the flavors, textures, warmth. Whisper, "This food is a gift." Let joy bloom from awareness, not abundance. Joy amid challenges. Even in hardship, small joys survive. A friend's kind word, the comfort of tea, the peace of a quiet breath. Noticing these does not deny suffering. It balances it, reminding us that light still shines. Story. The bedside song. A woman caring for her sick father felt overwhelmed. One night she sang softly by his bed. He opened his eyes and smiled faintly. In that smile, she discovered a joy deeper than comfort. The joy of love present even in pain. The nature of joy is not shallow pleasure. Pleasure fades quickly. Joy lingers. Pleasure depends on conditions. Joy can bloom even in stillness. When we practice mindfulness, joy becomes less fragile. It no longer depends on external things, but arises from presence itself. So joy in the present is not a gift we wait for. It is a seed we water with attention, gratitude, and simplicity. Let us now go further, exploring how joy can be cultivated in daily practices of life. Joy and mindfulness. Mindfulness is the doorway to joy. Without presence, joy passes unnoticed. With presence, even a sip of water becomes delightful. Story. The pebble in the pocket. Thich Nhat Hanh taught children to carry a pebble in their pocket. Each time they touched it, they took a mindful breath and smiled. This tiny practice transformed ordinary moments into joy. Joy in letting go. Much of our suffering comes from holding too tightly to possessions, expectations, or old wounds. Joy blooms when we release. Like a bird freed from a cage, the heart soars when it is not weighed down. Practice. The smile meditation. Sit quietly. Inhale, relax your face. Exhale, let a gentle smile form. Even if small, the smile tells the body it is safe to feel joy. Joy in service. Sometimes joy comes not from receiving, but from giving. Helping a stranger, listening to a friend, planting a tree. These acts awaken a joy deeper than pleasure, the joy of connection. Story. The soup kitchen. A man who lost everything began volunteering at a soup kitchen. One evening, serving bowls of soup, he felt a joy he had not known even in wealth. He said, "This joy comes not from what I get, but from what I give." Joy beyond comparison. Modern life constantly invites us to compare, but comparison steals joy. Gratitude restores it. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have what they have?" whisper, "Thank you for what I have." Joy grows when gratitude waters it. Night practice. Joyful reflection before sleep. Recall one small joy from today. A smile, a taste, a sound. Hold it in your heart like a candle in the dark. Let its light guide you gently into dreams. Joy is not far. It is not tomorrow. It is here, in the breath, in the smile, in the touch of this very moment. Whisper softly, "I choose joy now." And let joy carry you into deep rest. Joy in simplicity. Clutter clouds joy. When we simplify our homes, our minds, our routines, joy shines through like sunlight after rain. Simplicity is not about less life. It is about more space for joy. Story. The old chairer man once discarded old furniture, keeping only one wooden chair by the window. Each morning he sat there with tea, watching the sunrise. He said, "This chair gave me more joy than all the things I once owned." Joy often hides in simplicity. Joy in service helping others awakens joy that no purchase can buy. A hand extended, a meal shared, a listening ear. These acts create joy both for giver and receiver. Practice. The joy of giving. Choose one small act tomorrow. Hold a door, write a note of thanks, offer a smile. Notice how joy warms your chest when kindness flows outward. Joy beyond comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy. Social media often fuels envy, whispering their life is brighter. But mindfulness turns the gaze inward. This breath, this body, this moment is enough. Story. The runners smile too. Runners trained daily. One always compared himself, growing bitter. The other smiled each morning, saying, "I am grateful for legs that carry me, lungs that breathe." The second found joy not in winning, but in running itself. Joy thrives when freed from comparison. Joy in connection, shared joy, multiplies. When we celebrate together, not only big milestones, but tiny daily gifts, bonds grow stronger. Even laughing at a small mistake, or watching the stars side by side, we taste joy that cannot be bought. Night practice, the candle of joy. As you lie down, imagine a small candle glowing in your heart. Each joyful memory from today, a smile, a sound, a breath, becomes another flame. See the light grow brighter, warming you into rest. Whisper, "Joy is here. Joy is now." Joy is not fragile. It is ever present, waiting to be noticed. It shines in service, in gratitude, in simplicity, in connection. As you drift into sleep, trust that joy is not tomorrow's promise. It is tonight's gift. Now, as you drift into rest, may these words be like a soft breeze, guiding you gently into peaceful sleep. For the past hours, we have walked together through many landscapes of wisdom. We touched impermanence, learning that all things rise and fall. We explored interdependence, seeing how every life is woven into every other. We remembered karma, the gentle law that actions echo through time. We faced suffering, not as punishment, but as a teacher of compassion. We practiced mindfulness, the art of coming home to the breath. We opened our hearts with compassion and forgiveness. We discovered gratitude, simplicity, and joy in the present moment. Each of these teachings is not an idea to memorize, but a seed planted in your heart. Story. The seeds in the soil. A gardener plants seeds in the dark soil. Days later, nothing seems to change. Yet beneath the surface, roots form, shoots begin, life awakens. In the same way, the words and practices you have heard tonight may not feel immediate, but in quiet moments of your life, they will rise as patience, as kindness, as courage, as peace. One lesson is enough. Perhaps you will not recall everything from tonight. That is natural. But even one seed is enough. One mindful breath can change a day. One grateful thought can shift a heart. One gentle smile can heal a wound. You don't need to carry all the teachings. Just let one stay with you, and it will guide you forward. Practice. The heart of gratitude. Place your hand gently on your chest. Inhale slowly, exhale fully. Whisper silently, "Thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, heart, for feeling and healing. Thank you, life, for this moment of rest." Notice how gratitude softens the heart like warm sunlight melting ice. Story. The candle in the night. A child feared the dark. His mother gave him a candle. "But it is so small," he said. She replied, "Even the smallest light can guide you home. You too carry such a light, the light of mindfulness, compassion, gratitude. Tonight it may feel small, but it is enough. Enough to guide you through any darkness." Preparing for rest, now allow your body to sink deeper into the bed. Feel the weight of your head on the pillow. Feel the heaviness of your arms and legs. Feel the mattress holding you, the earth supporting you. Take one slow inhale and a long, gentle exhale. Again, inhale calm, exhale release. One last time, inhale peace, exhale rest. Your body is safe. Your mind is free to let go. Visualization. The river of night. Imagine a wide river under the moonlight. Place today's worries one by one onto small boats. See them drift gently downstream, carried away by the current. Whisper softly, "I let you go." Feel how light the heart becomes. Blessings for the night as you drift into rest. Receive these blessings. May your sleep be deep and sweet. May your body heal through the night. May your dreams be gentle and kind. May your morning bring freshness, clarity, and peace. Entering silence. If sleep has already arrived, let it take you softly. If wakefulness lingers, let these words be a lullaby, carrying you gently. You are safe. You are whole. You are loved. Rest now. Sleep deeply. And may peace be with you always.